bad, immoral, and wrong.
This is The Modern Eater Show.
Piping hot and delicious.
The Modern Eater.
Food, 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 food.
Come and get it! And now your hosts, Greg Hollenbeck, Jake Parker, and Brian Freeman.
All right, we can do this. What's up, quarantine party people? It's the Modern Eater Show, live from Studio Kitchen, Colorado. It is a Saturday, and it's March 42nd. If you didn't know, that's April 11th. April 11th, we're all in our places with sunshiny faces, right, Brian?
We are.
Brian Freeman, Greg Hollenbeck, Jay Parker, Little Rich Schneider on hold. Take them off hold. Shannon Scott here with us. Boy, and Shannon, we're actually going to ask you to chime in on this show. This is our anniversary show. 5 years, Shannon. Can you believe it?
Boy, it's like I got my first sobriety coin. 5 years.
5 years, man. And what a ride it's been. You're going to get full value if you go to our Facebook page. And that's where the Modern Eater is live right now. And we're going to show you some videos. We're going to laugh. We're going to scratch. We're just going to go through the years and have some fun. Check in with some guests. Sit back, relax. The next couple hours, it's going to be a good time. What we would ask you to do, if you are tuned in to the Modern Eater Facebook page.
Shirt.
What do you want, Jay?
Shirt.
Because sharing is what?
Caring.
And we care about the community.
That's right.
It's, how many days? Let's see. It's day 27 out of 57 since restaurants and bars' dining rooms have been shut down. Can't go inside. And 30 days to go.
You getting the COVID alerts on your phone every day?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, I am.
Yep.
Day 17 of shelter in place. And can't stop, won't stop. The Modern Eater Show is live every weekday from 2 to 5 p.m. on the stream. And hopefully you've been enjoying that.
You guys are doing a great job on that, Greg.
Well, thank you. We're just, I don't know, my attitude is just keep the lights on, turn on the microphones, let's see what happens. It's talk. We're talking.
I think people love it. I think that they need something right now to engage with. They need a voice of sort of the restaurant industry. They need a voice that is familiar to them. And I think you guys are doing a great job at providing that voice.
We have speaking of voices, is Little Rich Schneider on the line there? Little Rich?
I'm here. I don't know if you can.
Yeah. Are you in the Little Rich mobile right now?
I'm in the big old truck, just heading towards the casa.
Oh, cool. It's good to have you on in the background there. We're going to tell some stories tonight. Actually, Jay and I, 5 years ago, Rich, right, we founded the Modern Eater Show as a lonely little Saturday evening talk show on 630 KHOW. And Chef Jesper Jonsson founded this show with us. Chef Jesper is going to peek in with us in the next segment.
Greg, is it too early for me to jump in? I'm just curious, what was that first conversation like? What was, you were sort of coming off of a show that you weren't that happy with.
Great question, Brian, and I'll tell this. That was a good setup. So let me just hearken you back, right? So morning show producer for Boyles, and I always had a connection to the community in food and beverage. But before that, the Chica Cherry Creek, right? I did a dating show called The Modern Dater. And I loved the show. It was just one of those things, though, that with that show, as far as monetizing it and sponsorships, it was very narrow. I think I had Bonnie Bray Flowers as a sponsor. I had Chef Jesper from the Warwick Hotel. That's where Jesper worked, was at the Warwick Hotel. I had just various kind of like date surrounding sponsors, correct? And my mind was, listen, I didn't want to be a 40-something-year-old or 50-something-year-old dating advice coach. I needed to look at the future. What would Greg's future be to go away from the Chica Cherry Creek? Now, keep in mind, I was writing an article in the Glendale Cherry Creek Chronicle, Confessions of a Serial Dater. And so my life was kind of around the morning show with Boyles and then my side hustle as the Chica Cherry Creek with dating. And I loved the whole thing. It was pretty good. I thought I had some pretty good insights. I caught some heat from a couple of people. That's when you know you're doing a good job, is when the haters come out of the woodwork. And so, but I was thinking, okay, what's the future? So my pivot point, here's my pivot point. I don't know how many people knew this. I regrouped, ended the Modern Dater, and I regrouped in 2 months. I was going to come back with the Colorado show. And the Colorado show I thought would be so cool if we just picked up and toured all over Colorado, remote style, right? I'd bring an engineer with me, and there would be chambers of commerce in certain areas that would want this show to come through and be on KHOW. And the first show that we did is the Colorado show. We did from the National Western Stock Show. It was in January. I remember this vividly 5 years ago. So turns out that
Now, this is a Colorado, though, show.
Colorado show.
Not the Modern Eater.
This is not the Modern Eater.
Okay.
So I branded it, the Colorado show. I'm pumped up. I even made a banner. I got a big old banner made up. I think I have I'll actually see if I can find some footage to play of this. So at that time, during the Colorado show, this was when the Broncos were playing the Ravens. It was a Saturday night, right? In the Mile High City, the Ravens were in town. Even inside of the National Western Stock Show, everybody was by a TV.
Yep.
I was the least of anybody.
Yeah.
I had no sponsors. I'm paying for this out of my paycheck, right? I'm believing in the Colorado show. The show went off, and there was a feeling inside of me like, I'm not going to be able to do this. I don't have any sponsors. It's not being received well. What in the world am I going to do? I went to a mentor of mine. His name's Joe Bevilacqua, and he was the director of FM programming at iHeartRadio. And I sat down with him, and he said, what do you want to do with this? And I said, you know what, I don't know what to do with it. And we had a long discussion and talk. Within 1 week, I rebranded it to the Modern Eater. 1 week.
Now, where does, though, the Modern Drinker fall into that?
So the Modern Drinker, Jay, do you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, do me a favor. Make that full screen, though, would you? Modern Drinker. What about it?
So the Modern Drinker was one of those things where we did food and booze, right? And we thought, okay, it'd be really cool to have first hour. We had 2 hours, right? First hour, the Modern Eater, and we started out as just a 1 hour show, just the Modern Eater. We acquired a second hour, which we thought we're big time. You know, we've got some sponsors. We can get another hour of programming. And keep in mind, on KHOW, this is brokered programming. We pay for our programming, and it's not cheap. But we're able to retain our commercial time, right? So retaining that commercial time, it was like you work and you can monetize it. If you monetize your commercial time, you're coming out ahead of the game because most of the times any type of programming on a radio station, you get paid a wage to come in and talk or disc jockey, and then they sell the commercials around you. They're making the big money. So I thought, I'm going to make the money. And if you sell it out, that's a good way. So the Modern Drinker came into play for that second hour is we're going to have 2 different entities. Let's see which sticks, 2 different shows. So the Modern Eater first hour, the Modern Drinker the second hour. Actually, when Jesper comes on with us in the second hour, we went through days and weeks of kicking around names together. One of them was Let the Food Talk. That was going to be the name of the show. The other one was Off the Eaten Path. Right?
That's not a bad one. I like that
Off the Eaten Path.
Yep.
And so the food type of thing. So we quickly pivoted the business into food and beverage. And here's why. Because the Modern Dater was very narrow. Food and beverage, you know, those were still, we could have those sponsors and transfer them over into the Modern Eater. And it was just a way for me to be able to monetize it better. Because remember, back in the day when Jay and I and Jesper started the Modern Eater show, Jay was doing production. Jesper legitimized the show as a chef. Me being from my talk background, I didn't feel comfortable going on to a food and beverage show without somebody that actually knew food and beverage, right?
Yep.
I knew I liked to eat. I knew I liked to drink. I knew I had a lot of relationships with people. But Jesper was a way to legitimize, to get the ball rolling with that.
It's funny. It all started at the Warwick, and you have a connection now back at the Warwick. It's sort of funny.
Yes.
5 years full circle.
Isn't that something else? Thanks for joining us tonight. We're kind of going low-key, and it is 6:16 in the Mile High City. Little Rich, did you hear any of those stories? Did you know all of that?
I did not know all that. I'm listening like, Holy cow, that's where we all came from.
That's, I know you could be tuned in right now to Off the Eaten Path. Can you believe that?
I like the modern eater.
I do too, and I love the family we have. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. You guys watching on Facebook, thanks for joining us tonight on this Saturday evening. Of course, a full lineup for you this coming week on the Modern Eater stream, and we're just keeping it intimate tonight. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We're going to tell a lot of stories. Little Rich, you'll go on hold. Jesper Jonsson's going to join us. Zach Johnston, the Spice Guy, is going to join us at 6:45. Shannon Scott on the ones and twos back at the iHeart studio. And let's take that break. We'll come right back. The Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Nice.
Through Cyberland.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Newsflash. Good oral care habits keep you healthy. That means brushing your teeth for 2 minutes, twice a day, and flossing regularly no matter what brand you use. Quip makes things that make good habits simple, starting with an electric toothbrush, refillable floss, and anti-cavity toothpaste. Quip's electric brush has sensitive sonic vibrations with a built-in timer and 30-second pulses to guide a full and even clean. Their well-designed floss dispenser might make you actually want to floss, with pre-marked string to help you use just enough. Plus, Quip delivers a fresh brush head, floss, and toothpaste refills to your door every 3 months, with free shipping, so your routine is always right. Join over 3 million healthy mouths and get Quip today, starting at $25. And if you go to getquip.com/newstalk right now, you'll get your first refill absolutely free. That's your first refill free at getquip.com/newstalk. Quip, the good habits company.
Modern Eater family, it's Little Rich. Everybody needs insurance, but do you have the insurance you need? When we opened Studio Kitchen, Colorado, home of the Modern Eater, we had no idea what insurance we needed. We didn't even know where to begin. Times like that, I turn to the experts. Our insurance expert, Brian Brenning with the Ewing Levitt Agency. Brian makes the coverage discovery process easy and seamless. Here's what you can expect from Brian and the team at Ewing Levitt. The absolute safest coverage, fair, low rates, quick response time, and honest, straightforward service. I've been in business 40 years. I trust Brian Brenning and Ewing Levitt Agency. He's not just an insurance expert. He's my friend. Make him your friend and expert too by calling the Ewing Levitt Agency today, 970-679-7374. For the best and most reliable insurance coverage, that's 970-679-7374. It's the Ewing Levitt Agency.
Wear black and eat spices. Hey, Modern Eater.
30 seconds to a life.
I'm the Spice Guy, Colorado's favorite spice company. Spice is the variety of life. At the Spice Guy, we have a passion for sourcing the best ingredients from the best farmers all over the world. Choose from thousands of different GMO-free spices and ingredients, or let us create and blend custom flavor profiles for whatever style of food it is that you're working with.
10 seconds.
Restaurants, food brands, and chefs behind us, you can't go wrong when you choose the Spice Guy for all your spice needs. The Spice Guy.
Spicy.
Born in Breck, raised in Denver.
TheSpiceGuyCo.com.
That's right, thespiceguygo.com, but it's bread time now, and specifically I'm talking about Aspen Baking Company. Aspen Baking Company is my favorite bakery, and it should be yours too. AspenBaking.com is where you go to find hoagies, focaccias, ciabattas, baguettes, croissants, bear claws, lobster rolls, pound cakes, coffee cakes, and more. But you know what you're not going to find? You're not going to find preservatives or artificial coloring or chemicals. They are still open during these difficult times, and they're doing ordering online, buying direct, and coming soon, Amazon Fresh. So keep your eyes out for that. Again, you guys, this bakery's been doing it since I graduated high school, the year of our Lord, 1994. They do it right, they do it delicious, and they do it all night long. Hashtag, how's your Aspen? It's the website, and then it's back to the show. It's aspenbaking.com.
Hey, this is Brother Luck from Colorado Springs. All right, you ready? Owner of 4 by Brother Luck and Lucky Dumplings. I mean, he's a very, very impressive man. And you're rocking with the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, welcome back. Thank you so much. Saturday's show.
Is that Shannon in there with this techno we're getting a little tonight?
No, that was just music bed I put underneath, brother.
That's right. All right, back at it. Greg Hollenbach, Brian Freeman, Jay Parker, Little Rich Schneider on hold. Little Rich, back at it. We got you, and we have Jesper. Throw those fellas up. Yes.
How's it going, guys?
Good, Jesper. How are you?
I'm doing excellent.
Good to hear your voice. Sounds like you're on speakerphone. Of course, we ask you not to be.
So this is much better, I assume, huh?
It's so much better. Jesper, welcome to the show, Mr. Founding Officer of the Modern Eater Show.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Co-founder of the Modern Eater radio show.
Well, what about Jay? What about Mr. Jay?
Don't worry about me.
Jay, he was, he was a discussion to begin with. He's like our adopted son.
That's right. Remember, Jay, when we first started out? Yes, there's so much stuff to go back on. So those of you just joining us, the Modern Eater Show continues. And we're going down memory lane. It'll be full value if you go to the Modern Eater Facebook page. We're playing some clips there, and we got Jesper on here. Chef Jesper, as we rewind, and I don't know if you were listening to the setup beforehand, but you remember when we were kicking? First of all, Jesper, tell everybody how we met.
You and I, oh boy, we met at the Taste of Colorado on a very, very warm Saturday night. And if I'm not mistaken, you were hosting the Modern Dater back then.
You weren't mistaken at all, and you were wearing a kilt.
Yes, sir. Well, it was hot, and it happened to be a very, very appropriate attire for a warm summer night in Denver.
Yes, it was. So you were single at the time.
Yes, sir.
And I had you come over and talk on the show for a few minutes, and we fell in love at that point.
Yeah, it was good times, man. And we've been buddies ever since. That was good times.
We have been pals. So let's fast forward when we decide. I said, Jesper, here it is. I'm at a pivot point. I got to do the Modern Eater Show. The Colorado show's not going to quite do it for me. And within 1 week, rebranded to the Modern Eater. And we were trying to kick around names all week long of what that would be. Do you remember some of those?
Oh, no, I don't remember what they were.
You ready for one?
Okay.
Off the Eaten Path.
Oh, yes, that is true. I remember that. Off the Eaten Path. That was not a bad name.
Yeah. How about Let the Food Talk?
Oh, boy. Yeah, we're going back now, memory lane, man. It's dusty up there.
Hey, Greg, let me jump in there because I'm curious, Jesper. What is one of your fondest memories of building all this out?
Oh, well, well, first of all, I got to meet you, Mr. J. I think you had been doing some.
That was Brian.
Some work.
That was Brian.
Oh, sorry, Brian. Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, I thought it was Jay.
Yeah. So answer that question,
but
with nothing to do with me. Do that.
Sorry about that. Well, actually, of course, it was exciting. I think at that point, you had already helped me out, Greg, with getting a little bit more exposure in articles and obviously on your radio show back then. And then I also think we got to meet a whole bunch of chefs that otherwise would not have been sort of accessible for us to meet for any other reason. And I mean, ever since then, there's been definitely chefs and also all the breweries that we went to visit. I think that was excellent times back then. I mean, we basically, I would say, were pretty green out the gate, and I still think we built some really good content, some things that nobody else were really talking about, and I felt very empowered that we had that voice.
Yeah, I always said, I don't want to spend an hour or two just talking about a piece of chicken. I wanted to spend the hour or two hearing the stories behind the chicken.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's obviously what you guys have been kept on doing, and I think Brian, sorry for hearing your voice, but I think that's something that you, Brian, also have really brought to the table, being part of the Modern Eater.
Well, thank you. I can only say that Jay and Greg have brought the best out of me.
I don't know about that. We brought something out of you, but I don't know if it's always the best. It's been interesting throughout the years, and we're kind of doing this in chronological order of who we met and how we met them. Jesper, you turned me on to Joan Brewster, right? And
yes,
Joan is a grand woman. Talk about Joan for just a second and your relationship with her.
I was part of the ACF, obviously, very, very much part of the ACF. And I think when we started the radio show, I was already a board member at the ACF, which is, a nonprofit educational organization that I believe in a lot. And Joan was definitely the person that made our local chapter what it is. Joan, I think, had been the director of the chapter for a good 20 years altogether. And the local chapter probably became, if not the largest in the country, but at least very, very close. And it could actually, I think we were the most active chapter in the country. And I would give that drive to Joan Brewster exclusively. And I think now Joan is so she's no longer the president at the ACF. That's Colleen Ferreira currently. But I think Joan is involved with the Master Chefs of America, which is another chapter of the ACF. Great lady.
Yeah, she is. I was fortunate enough to speak to her the other day, and gosh, what a great sort of...
You spoke to Joan?
Yeah, what a great
How's
wind
she
down
doing?
to her career. Well, she's getting to spend a lot of time with her family.
Yeah.
And, and for a woman who, I think we could all attest that the food and beverage industry is consuming of all of your time, right? I mean, it's an industry that never stops. And so we don't get a lot of breaks. And so for someone to, be able to get to a place in their career where they can step back and really get to spend that precious moments with their family and friends, it's got to be a great moment for Joan out there.
Well, it's interesting. I'll play this video I have queued up, and this is from Summer Dinner Series in 2017, I want to say. Summer Dinner Series 2017, and this is when we featured the ACF chefs at the Summer Dinner Series, and Joan was there.
Yes.
This is basically when we brought the ACF back into any type of relevancy at the time, and just kind of struggling for positioning and featuring their apprentice and their chefs. And this was a really great time for them to be in the spotlight.
Now, you said 2017?
I believe that
2018.
2018.
Was our first.
Was our first Summer Dinner Series.
Was our first Summer Dinner Series.
And Joan and I worked very closely together. She knew the value of media and being able to have partnerships for folks. So with this video that you're seeing right now, Brandon Hart is there. See Sharon Two Crows. See Jenny Dixon. I believe that's her name, Jenny. And Little Rich Snyder, you're in the background there. There's Chef Jesper Jonsson. And Chef Jesper, when I gave you the microphone, man, and I'm about to do it right now, you gave a speech, my friend. I don't know if you remember much of it, but you gave a speech that was really something else. Do you remember that speech?
Unfortunately not.
Yeah, that's showing your age right there, what that'll do to you. Basically, the sentiment that you have, and I'm seeing you do this right now, was basically what it meant for continuing education and chefs that were, and this will spark your memory, who's working when you're sleeping? Who's working on holidays serving you? Am I sparking your memory right now, Jesper?
Yeah, well, I mean, it basically sounds like my life. So yes, it feels pretty real. Yes, absolutely.
The kind of not taking a bow, just the servitude sense of chefs and service industry people, and when you're enjoying yourself for the holidays or restaurants, give a little bit of that heartfelt of what that meant to you.
Well, I think if you are in this industry, and it doesn't matter if you're a chef or if you're anywhere else in the chain of feeding people, and of course it's in the spotlight also right now, right? It doesn't matter where you're at in that, but there is that sense of servitude and I would say obligation to a certain degree to feed people and to do it right and to be cautious and conscious about what we do. And there's no doubt that a fellow like me that has gotten where I'm at in my career and the things that I've had the opportunity to do, I do have a sort of I would say an obligation to pass on my experiences and my knowledge so that not everybody has to learn everything the hard way, but maybe they can be inspired and get a couple of hints from somebody that's already been where they want to be or where they're just about to be.
Well, look at the room standing up right now, Jesper. I'm sorry to interrupt. You gave that talk, and the room is standing up around you, and just continue to have that. I'm sorry, that thought, Jesper.
Sure. No, I mean it's you don't do what we do, or you don't keep on doing what we do unless there's got to be something more to it. And I really hope that everybody listening right now to this show fully understand that there are very, very few professions that have gotten hit harder than we have in the food industry. And when time gets better, I really implore you all to go out there and spend some money, go out and eat, and make sure that some of all these jobs that have been lost will be filled rather sooner than later. We're talking about people that start out with $12.50 an hour, and that doesn't allow you to make a whole lot of savings. And now with this time coming and people losing money, even if they get some help, it'll still not be what it would have been, just keeping on having their jobs. So I implore you all, go out there and help these people out that are in our industry. And should you ever have an applicant come and apply for a job that you have available, anybody in the food industry will be hardworking people. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made it in our industry. So they're good people to hire, I promise you.
So, Chef, I got a question for you. This is Brian. Speaking of good people,
sure.
Over the years, I can only imagine all the leaders and influencers and people that you have been able to meet and eat with. Of all those people, Chef, who was one memorable person for you that you would say, gosh, this was either someone that really was different than I thought they were or someone that made a mark in my life?
Well, I was very fortunate to work for quite a few diplomats, and one of the ones that really stands out was a lady that was it was a Danish ambassador in New York. Her name is Ellen Margrethe Løg, and she ran for the head of Security Council in New York, and I was part of obviously making sure these dinners went well. And she actually didn't end up getting the votes to become the head of the Security Council, which in the United Nations is a very, very big thing. And probably the best compliment I've ever gotten was she said, without good food, this would have never happened. So it was sort of a shared celebration, and I thought that was very noble of her to share that with me. So that was kind of a big highlight of compliments in my life, I would say.
The voice of Chef Jesper Jonsson right there as we walk down memory lane of the 5-year anniversary, and again, full value on the Modern Eater Facebook page or the moderneater.com, where we also stream the show as well. Little Rich, you're in the background there, and when we were telling those stories just a minute ago about that dinner that Chef Jesper stood up and talked, you were right behind him. Do you remember that Little Rich?
I sure do. We were there kind of teasing each other, and then when he started speaking, pretty much the whole room just fell silent, taking it in and realizing the truth that he was speaking.
Well, it was those were words from the heart. I do remember the occasion. I can't remember other the details what I said, but
Hey, did you know
But
you
I
can
will
go
go
to the
back.
Modern Eater Facebook page? If you click on post, then there's a search
Okay.
engine. You can type in whatever you want to type in. There's 5 years worth of shows and content. Anybody's name that you'd like to see. If you're in Denver, and if it's a farm or a ranch or a brewery or a distillery or a chef or a restaurateur or a restaurant, a bar, whatever it is, type that into the Modern Eater Facebook page. Even the Modern Eater search engine on the moderneater.com, you're going to find something on somebody there because we've been around doing it. JJ.
Yes.
Let's take a break, come back, and then we're going to get a J moment. What can we have queued up for you? I've got a lot.
Try to find that dancing thing, man.
Of you dancing?
Yeah,
I'll find
that's not like I want it, but
Now, do you remember where that was at?
Yeah, the Cherry Creek Wine Festival or
The
something
Cherry
like
Creek
that.
Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah.
We continue the Modern Eater Show back in a flash.
Your path through Cyberland.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
We've had our lives flipped upside down recently, and for many of us, things just got a lot rougher. But we've faced tough times before, and we're going to pull through this because, well, that's what we do in America. At Term Provider, Big Lou has a message for you. If all this craziness has you protecting the ones you care about, don't let it stop when we get through this. Keep the protection rolling with a life insurance shield around your family. For over 30 years, Term Provider has been providing affordable term life insurance at better prices and with better service, including policies that don't need an in-home exam. As for Big Lou, he's just like you, spending time at home with his kids, too. No matter what your medical history, prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or if you're taking prescription medications, at Term Provider, we can help you find $1 million or more of term life insurance at affordable rates to fit your budget. There's no obligation, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790. 800-568-2790.
Hey, it's Greg Hollenbach. Anymore these days, when I go out to eat, I not only want to eat delicious food and drinks, but I also want to eat where I know my money is going to a local restaurant that I believe in. I believe in the Goods restaurant on Colfax and Mark Whistler. The Goods is a community restaurant and bar with a menu focusing on vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, and keto options. Comfort food lovers, try the best burger on planet Earth. I love it. 8 ounces of grass-fed beef and never, ever any hormones, antibiotics, or steroids. The Goods is truly a cultural melting pot, a family restaurant open to all. Their bar program is amazing. Saddle up at their long, luxurious bar, have a nice craft beer or a cocktail. Like their Facebook page and stay up on amazing events and specials going on throughout the week. Located on East Colfax, directly connected to the Tattered Cover Bookstore, across from East High School with free parking in a garage in back. Look them up online, thegoodsrestaurant.com. I'll see you at the Goods.
Hey, chef friends, it's Little Rich here from Raquelita's Tortillas. Raquelita's, known for hyper-local, innovative, and healthy tortillas and chips, served by Colorado's top chefs, and that's why we only use Colorado Mills sunflower oil. If you, too, want to serve the healthiest, most vibrant-tasting foods, you must use Colorado Mills. Colorado Mills is
10 seconds to a life.
Cold pressed in Lamar, Colorado. Whether you bake, fry, or saute, get your Colorado Mills today. Available through Shamrock, Growers Organic, and Dawn Foods. For the best oil in the business, use Colorado Mills.
All right, y'all, thanks for tuning in. Back to the show in a minute. But Jeff Rourke and A-Plus Beverage Solutions time. Had Jeff on the weekday stream on Friday and talked to me. He was busy at work cleaning out people's lines.
Dude's always busy.
Yeah, you need to do that, Brian. You don't want that stagnant beer.
No, and now's the time.
Now's
it's
the
like
time.
spring cleaning, house cleaning. Do it.
Get ready, right? Here we go. We're trying to ramp up to May 11th, and you want that beer tasting that first refreshing beer out of the line. Brian, what are you doing if you're pouring inefficient beer?
You're pouring your money down the drain.
Why would you do that?
Well, you said Brian, and then so I was going to do my. I wanted to be
okay.
part of it, and then I'm like,
you're always
fellas,
part of it,
what are you
Jay.
doing when you're pouring inefficient beer?
You're
pouring your money down the drain.
Don't pour it down the drain. $10, man, per line to clean out your lines. 720-272-3809. Family owned and operated. Most trusted man in the business. Restaurateurs, owners, and operators. Listen to the show. Don't fail yourself. Don't fail your customers. Get hold of Jeff Rourke at 720-272-3809. Jeff Rourke and A-Plus Beverage Solutions.
Hi, Michael Myers from Distillery 291. I'll say whatever you want me to say. That'll get me in trouble. Ride it like you stole it, drink it like you own it. You're listening to The Modern Eater on iHeartRadio.
Okay, welcome back. There's Michael Myers, 291. They're doing a 2 o'clock check-in all the time on their stream. 2 p.m. check-in at Distillery 291 if you want to know what's going on with those guys. Greg Hollenbach, Brian Freeman, Jay Parker, Little Rich Schneider. He was sitting in his driveway on the phone. He took off. He's like, I'm hungry. I got to go inside and eat. So he might check back in with us. I think Chef Jesper's still around with us. Do I have Jesper's voice?
Yes, I'm still here.
Good to see you. Full value on the stream. Checking in. Reagan Benson on the stream. Matt Gears, Gunnar Frazier, David, Richard Wolf. What's happening, man? Sherry Cree.
You see Alyssa Wick,
Rebecca Berry. Yeah, look at these guys.
Ruby's in there.
Your old man's on here. Aaron Shepard. Hey, what's up, girl?
Mark
Good to see you.
Antonation.
Mark Antonation there. It's our 5-year anniversary. Sean Smiley watching. Emily Katowski. You remember Emily, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she says, nice to see Travis in the kitchen. Misses food and all of you. Miss you as well.
She's been cranking out some incredible art, actually. She's, she's living up north of us. I don't know if you knew that. She's living in Nevada.
Mm-mm.
And she moved away, and she's cranking out some beautiful art. I got to tell you, you remember our first IT guy? Who was our first IT guy? Do you remember? Besides, of course, Jay.
Well, Dave Avery?
Before Dave. Do you remember?
IT.
Do
What do you mean by IT?
Don't you remember, man?
No, you're freaking me out.
And he's from the country of IT. And you even gave him such a hard time. You got to know this. Come on. Remember, who was the guy that showed us how to use a router properly?
Oh, you're talking about Twan.
Twan Law, baby.
Oh.
You got to love that guy. Remember, Twan really helped us quite a bit in the beginning.
think it's Twan more as a food guy and a chef than an IT guy.
Well, but remember why I say this. Because remember in the beginning when we were using this awesome app that we found to broadcast, when it was when we were just radio, and we had this idea of like, hey, we should be filming everything we do. And
are you talking about when we were at your house up in Evergreen? And
all right, you guys, you just tuned in now. Here comes the stories because, all right. So just talk about the migration. We were, Saturday, we were like, we need to be more. This is a food show. We need to be more. We got to show some things. So let's
we had all these chefs. Remember that? We had these chefs coming in the corner at iHeartRadio.
That's right.
And it was like, who was going to set off the alarm?
A Bunsen burner.
Yeah. And it was, all we were doing at those times was taking pictures of people cooking. Right. And it was like, oh, man, there's so much more. And then we started talking about this fact and then all the stuff that happens before the show and after the show. Because there was great conversations and, just engagement with people every night on the show.
Yep.
And it was like, gosh, we're missing all this stuff that people would love to see.
Well, and we didn't want to forever be tied to AM radio.
Yeah.
It's like, let's see if we can make an actual video production and a show out of it to give it another dimension. What that meant, I don't know. But, and keep in mind that every time that the show was done, we'd take the audio, and we got a pretty kick-ass iTunes and SoundCloud channel with tons and tons of audio interviews. We still do that. So if you want it just in the audio podcast form, fine. It's there for you. But we thought it was important to have more visuals,
Oh, well, I think in today's society, everybody just has like a 20-second attention span.
Yeah.
And so it's, but I just remember, I remember trying to get all of our phones connected, and we're all trying to be on the iHeart.
Okay, so then that was about the time when we're going out on Road Trip 1, right?
Yes.
Road Trip 2018.
Yep.
And so take it away, Brian. We're heading up. First stop, your house. We're going to get a good night's sleep, then we're going to go.
And we were having a conversation about this.
Go for it.
So, and folks, you got to remember that the three of us had just met. The first show I did was right after Thanksgiving. Or actually, it was right before Thanksgiving.
Let's see. How did we meet? That's a good starting
place. So we
place.
met because Jay was like...
He booked you. You were a guest.
Yeah, he booked me, and you were like, who is this lame guy?
Let Jay, you tell the story.
Hold on. If we're going to tell how we met Brian Freeman's story.
And then we'll break and come back. And who do we have? Nobody. We're good to go. We'll just break and come.
Okay,
Actually, let's do that now. You want to hear how we met Brian Freeman? Jay's going to do the story. If Jay's telling the story.
I'll just do this. I'll do this.
Emily was part of this. And it was Thanksgiving. Okay. We're going to come back. We'll take a break. We're going going to stay on time. We are on the iHeart. This isn't the weekday stream where we just go 3 hours, the balls to the wall.
I was going to say that same thing. I just was like, can I say that on radio?
I don't know if I ever. It's the Wild West now. Anything matters. Come get me. That's how I got to say. All right, I'm glad you tuned in. It's a 5-year anniversary party. We're keeping it low key, right? Okay. Chef Travis Smith is here cooking for us.
And I'm getting hungry.
I'm smelling the food. This is great. We'll come back. How we met Brian Freeman next on the Modern Eater Show.
Shoot path through Cyberland.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
At Ace, we always have been and always will be committed to our local communities because we're here to help others. So in this time of need, your local Ace remains open. And since we're in your neighborhood, we can deliver almost anything you need. So shop in store or online for the home or yard products you're looking for. And choose from top brands like Steel, Ego, Toro, and Scott's. Then you can pick up in-store, curbside, or we'll deliver your order right to your door. Help is just around the block. See acehardware.com for details.
This is the Frells family. They live on a piece of land they call greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Want to bake the best? Bake with the best. Little Rich here from Raquelita's Tortillas and the Modern Eater. Our wraps fold cold and don't break open, yet they're soft and delicious. What's my secret? Ardent Mills. Organic, ancient, and heirloom grains like quinoa, spelt, and more. Locally headquartered in Denver, Colorado, Ardent Mills provides the industry's broadest range of traditional and organic flours, whole grains, customized blends, and specialty products dedicated to providing the culinary industry with the next grains and unique plant-based ingredients. I love Ardent Mills, and I know you will too. To bake the best, you must use the best. Learn more at ardentmills.com.
Taxes, payroll, and workman's comp? Ugh. If you're a business owner, I bet hearing me say those dirty words made you cringe. Hi, I'm Rebecca Berry with Forth, and I know growing and managing a business can seem overwhelming and just daunting at times. But at Forth, we've got you covered. Forth knows you want to take your business to the next level. Forth was designed to be the partner you need and will allow you to free up your time and resources to do what you do best, grow and manage your business. Call me. Let's talk about how I can help. 720-436-8047. That's 720-436-8047. Rebecca with Forth.
Listen up, barbecue lovers. Greg Holland back here for Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. Proud Souls is Denver's authority of all things barbecue. Do you rule your neighborhood with the best backyard barbecue? From beginners to pit masters, Proud Souls has all the equipment you could possibly want. A variety of wood, pellet, and charcoal grills and smokers. Award-winning pit masters and owners of Proud Souls, Dan and Tony, have a passion for barbecue, and it shows. Located on 25th and Federal, Proud Souls retail store is bursting at the seams with your barbecuing essentials, the Spice Guy spices, and superior flavored fuels for your pit like hickory, mesquite, oak, pecan, cherry, apple, peach, maple, grape, and a variety of blends. Hit their website, ProudSoulsBBQ.com, for delicious hands-on barbecue classes and get information on current promotions and deals. For the best in barbecue, locally owned and operated on 25th and Federal, there are guys. Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. That's ProudSoulsBBQ.com.
Whose cuisine reigns supreme? You're listening to the Modern Eater Show,
the ultimate gourmet challenge.
And it's time for In the Kitchen.
All right, tonight in the kitchen, opening it up a little bit. Social distancing at its finest, and he's got a mask going. I think Chef Travis Smith.
Man, I'll tell you
Bistro Colorado.
This chef, folks, I have a little affection for Travis because of the fact that when I was up in Evergreen, I moved up to Evergreen in 2012, and the food up there, it's a nice little bedroom community, right? But the food is lacking, and was. And Chef Travis had this restaurant, and I'll tell you, he blew my socks off. One of the first farm to table guys. But you know what? We're gonna turn this over to Jay, right? Jason.
Well, yeah.
Are we? I am, man. I just listen. I am smelling that food. I went over there and checked it out during the break.
I'm hungry. Thanks for joining us. It is our anniversary. 5 years. 5 years in the books, guys. And little Rich Schneider rejoins us. I think Jesper Jonsson's with us. Jesper,
No, Rich.
No, Rich? Will you call Rich? He's waiting for you. If you'd call him, that'd be awesome. Little Rich joined us. Shannon Scott back in the state. I've known Shannon for 20 years.
Love Shannon.
Can you believe it's been that long, Shannon? 20 years. he's got the sound effects.
You see there?
Yeah, and we've had our ups and downs over the years. I liked you better when you were a drunk, Shannon. Do you have the sound effect queued up to where you almost lost your job because you played it during the Democratic National Convention on the morning? There, he kept playing that.
I played that sound effect over top of Ted Kennedy's speech from the Pepsi Center.
Why wouldn't you? Shannon Scott.
That's horrifying.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's good that he's a pro, man. I'm telling you, you want Shannon Scott with you if you're on a remote. Shannon, we're going to talk about that remote down at the Trainer Ranch, where I did it on the telephone for an hour and a half. Still paid you, though. Didn't we pay you, Shannon?
The one listener, is that what he was trying to say?
We paid you. We'll talk about that one in a minute. So going down memory lane here, Chef Jesper, are you listening to this? This is how we met Brian Freeman. Jay, go ahead.
So I got Brian Freeman just through either the internet or something, and I found Growers Organic, right? And so when I remember seeing it, I'm like, oh, organic produce. I think that would fit the show, you know? And I still don't think I know what I'm doing. I definitely had no idea what I was doing back then.
You had to sell them to me, though.
But I booked it. Well, I booked them. And then told Greg, hey, I got a guy that has an organic produce company. And I remember Greg saying, you know, how does that even make sense? You know,
well, truth be told, we were going to bump him.
Well, I don't remember that part.
Well, no, it was just he was going to come in and talk about a turkey giveaway.
Yes, because remember that's what we were doing that year. We gave a turkey to the back of the house.
Here's the thing. I didn't book
and
Brian.
And do you remember what pizzeria it was? We'll go there in just a sec. Go ahead.
I didn't book him because of anything to do with turkeys. I mean, that may have happened in a conversation.
No, it's a
feel-good
story because that's the reason. That was the determining factor where I was like, okay, we'll bring him on because.
Well, maybe you said that after you looked a little bit into Grower, but I mean, and man, listen, I mean, you could strike me dead if I'm lying. I don't really remember, but all I remember is going like organic produce. That makes sense, and then Greg saying like, I don't think that makes sense, and I'm like, well. You know, what the heck do you want from me? Then I'm like, it's produce. We have a food show. It's I'm like, I don't know something. And then Brian said a cuss word on the air, and the rest is history.
What did he?
Oh, that's right. SHITT.
What? You can't spell it, man.
You can't spell it either.
Hey, Shannon, is that illegal? You can't do that, can you? Can you spell it?
Gone.
Gone. Oh, you can't do it. It's gone.
Apparently, we can't even spell the word I said.
Yeah, it's funny. You think there's a bunch of 8-year-olds listening, Brian? The word changes if you spell it. That's great, and that's kind of been Brian. And truth be told, after the interview was done, the guy was mine. That was it. I said we got to get Brian back. He added he added that extra dimension, and I think Jesper was gone at that time.
Yes, he was already gone.
Was Nikki Olst, Chef Nikki, our co-host at that? Was there
no? There was no co-host at that time. It was just Jay.
Me and Jay
in that iHeart station.
Yeah,
there.
Jesper, tell the story of why you left the show. People are probably going, well, Jesper, why'd you leave?
Oh well. I would say I just had simply too much on my plate. I was a single parent with 3 kids. I worked a good 70 hours a week while watching these little kids and committing every Saturday night to the show. I just couldn't do it at the end.
So do you remember the time when you told me that?
We were at the stadium, at the football stadium.
There. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. You drove up to Winter Park. We were at Strip and Tail Grub and Ale doing a remote that night, and I wanted to talk to you because I needed more out of you, just participating more, and you came up to Winter Park. You're very honorable. Sat down, we had a conversation. You said, you know what, listen, I'm not doing the show any justice right now, and I'm going to step back, but I'll be here for tonight. I'll finish the show with you and then drive back down. I had the whole party set up, man. I had rooms for us and Chef Jesper, and Your life was going in a different direction at that time, but you felt it was important to let me know in a very nice way, and it devastated me.
Absolutely.
It was wasn't what I wanted, but I understood, and we approached that in a very amiable way. Let's just say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're a dear friend of mine, and I really, I mean, I still have affections for the show, obviously, but I know that the show is a great thing, and it does a great service for our industry and our community, and I'm very proud of having been part of starting it. I just could not keep on allocating the little time that I had to the show, and therefore, I mean, it's true that the show did, from my side, didn't get what I thought it needed, and I think when that time was, also the show was sort of at the ready to get a new or for a new page in the show, which would take even more effort, and that just wasn't available. Yeah, I mean, I was a teacher at the same time, and so forth. So yeah, a lot of things going on back then. It was crazy times, man.
It was. Hey, Shannon, I don't have a clock in front of me. How much time do we have?
1 minute.
Only 1 minute? Okay.
1:20.
Let's do this. 1:20 left till the top of the hour. Zach Johnston, the Spice Guy, is going to join us. I want to get through a couple of stories. I want to get through the Little Rich Schneider story of when we met him at the ACF President's Awards dinner. I want to have Shannon, when we get back, talk about this remote that we did from the Trainer Ranch. Are you showing any of that video on my laptop right now?
Can we change the name of that to the Trainwreck Ranch? Because
I don't know how bad it was.
Oh,
hey,
my
Shannon,
gosh.
will you tell the story about that remote broadcast when we get back on the other side? Awesome. Shannon Scott behind the glass. It's a good night, man. It's a Saturday night in the Mile High City. It's day 27 out of 57 since our favorite restaurants and bars shut down their dining rooms and just in-house service. Day 17 of shelter in place, and we're just laughing and scratching and telling stories. Broadcasting at its finest on 630 KHOW, our iHeartRadio affiliate. March 42nd. I mean, April 11th. Yesterday was Good Friday, and tomorrow is Easter. We're going to take this thing to the other side. The Spice Guy will join us, and at the end of the show, Brian, 1 week. You've changed a lot in a week. And Dr. Sara Metz, I can't wait to... We're going to turn the screen so she can see you. All right, we'll be back on the other side. The Modern Eater Show continues.
CVS Pharmacy delivers. And right now, to meet the needs of the current health situation, we're offering 1 to 2 day delivery for free. Get prescriptions and other everyday essentials like vitamins, allergy relief, snacks, and more from your local CVS. We understand your concern, and this is just one of the ways we can help you to be prepared and stay well. Visit CVS.com or call your local CVS pharmacy to get started. Restrictions apply. Offer valid on orders with a prescription.
Repair, remodel, refresh. From Ace Hardware, updating smaller accents in the home can really freshen the place up. Try swapping out your generic doorknobs for something with a little more flair. Brass and copper can add a touch of sophistication, and the shape of the doorknob, rounded or tulip, can bring even more character to your home.
Ace is committed to helping our communities in this time of need, so your local store remains open. Pick up in store, curbside, or have us deliver. Help is just around the block. See acehardware.com for details.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Ross Kaminsky in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver.
ABC News, I'm Lionel Moyes. A sad update on the coronavirus pandemic. More than 20,000 Americans have died from COVID-19. New York has been the epicenter, with the virus claiming the lives of more than 8,600 people. But there are some signs the state may have reached its apex.
So far, the virus has claimed the lives of more than 8,600 New Yorkers, including 783 more deaths in the past 24 hours. But there are signs the state may have reached its apex.
Apple and Google now teaming up on a new app to track potential exposure to coronavirus, but some are concerned about privacy.
Google's statement announcing the partnership said user privacy and security are central to the design, and participation would be entirely voluntary. Jennifer Granick of the ACLU says Apple and Google seem to be taking steps to protect privacy in their design plans so far, but the companies will be under careful scrutiny.
ABC's Trevor Ault. This is ABC News. With millions of Americans preparing for Easter, many find themselves isolated as church moved their gatherings online to encourage social distancing. But one preacher set out to surround himself with members even though they couldn't gather as normal for the holiday. ABC's David Wright.
One preacher printed out photos of all his parishioners to keep him company in the church.
I spent one night, in the chapel, basically, masking tape and printed photos, putting them all over the pews. And it was, for me, actually, it was an amazingly prayerful moment to be in a quiet chapel, kind of in the dark. And every time I put a picture up, I could, remember the people who I was praying for and think about them.
David Wright, ABC News, New York.
A new wave of desert locusts putting millions at risk in Africa. This is the biggest outbreak some countries have seen in nearly 70 years. Singapore stopping the use of video platform Zoom for online learning. Hackers hijacked a lesson and showed obscene images to students. Lionel Moise, ABC News.
Crisis or opportunity? You get to decide. Thousands are losing jobs, but could you turn this crisis into a better life for you and your family and do it all from home? A 39-year-old entrepreneur from a billionaire family spent $20 million in 5 years to find the best home-based business in North America. He researched 70 different companies, and when he found the only one that had real long-term potential, he bought it. Right now, he's looking for people to help him turn this company into his next billion-dollar success story. Want to be your own boss and create a residual income without ever leaving your home? Grab a pen. I'll tell you exactly where to learn all about this unique and rare opportunity. GoHereNext.com. Go to the site now. Income based on performance, not politics. Interested? GoHereNext.com. Turn this crisis into an opportunity for a better life today. GoHereNext.com.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
Now, impact traffic.
In the high country, that stop-and-go backup seems to still be wreaking havoc westbound I-70 approaching Hanging Lake Park. And you're backed up still for about 9 miles. That lets you breathe in Glenwood Springs. Also, westbound I-70, more stop-and-go still from the Eisenhower Tunnel. And you're feeling the stop-and-go for about 2 miles. Earlier accident westbound I-70 and moving on to the right shoulder, causing very little traffic backup, has since cleared. Your weather report, well, spring S temperatures will disappear later on tonight as snow showers will be coming into the Denver area, but not without climbing a new high of 70 degrees today. Overnight low will be a brisk 22 degrees. Right now it's 65. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Rudy Reyes on 630 KHOW.
This report is sponsored by Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1979. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1979. That's 800-777-1979. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1979. 800-777-1979.
Please listen, this is important. Anyone can be affected by the prescription opioid crisis. If you think you've been hurt by Purdue or its prescription opioids like OxyContin, you may be entitled to compensation as part of Purdue's bankruptcy, but you have to file a claim. Claims may include overdose, death, substance use disorder, lost wages, and neonatal abstinence syndrome. A confidential claim can be filed by individuals, a legal guardian, by survivors or relatives of people who have died or are disabled. The deadline to file a claim is June 30th, 2020, or you will lose your right to file a claim. For more information, visit PurduePharmaClaims.com, or you can call toll-free 1-844-217-0912. That's 1-844-217-0912. Paid for by Prime Clerk, LLC.
Denver's talk station. Available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app.
Now #1 for podcasting.
630 KHOW, an iHeartRadio station.
The following is a paid advertisement. The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the following program are not those of KHOW, its staff, management, or parent company, iHeartMedia Incorporated.
How about a bite to eat? It's time for the second course, hour number 2 of The Modern Eater.
What are you hungry for?
Here's to a meal we're all here for. Delicious and tasty.
Now we're getting to the good stuff.
With your hosts, Greg Hollenbeck, Jay Parker, and Brian Freeman.
All right, just like we like it, the second hour continues on the Modern Eater Show. Live from Studio Kitchen, Colorado, and 4 of us here. More than 6 feet apart, because that's how we do it.
That's how we roll?
That's how we roll.
Yes, indeedy, Mr. Tweety.
You know it, Brian. Just going down memory lane. Happy 5-year anniversary to the Modern Eater Show. And just so glad to be serving Denver and Colorado and all the farms and ranches and breweries and
How
distilleries.
many meals do you think we ate together?
Oh, my God. Huh?
There's a question for
that. There is a question. Thank you guys for tuning in on iHeartRadio, but also on Facebook. We will give you the shout out if you have a good TME story. We'll see if we can get you on 303-713-8255. We've got the phone lines going with the VIPs on there. I think Jesper, we said good day to. Is that correct, Shannon?
Correct.
And we have Little Rich Snyder online with us.
I'm here in the chair.
Little Rich, if you hear something, man, just jump in and say, Little Rich, here I am. Because, we'll keep talking between me, Brian, and Jay. Chef Travis Smith is in studio cooking for us, and we can't stop and we won't stop. The Modern Eater Show just keeps going Monday through Friday, 2 to 5 p.m., and just trying to keep the light on for us all, keep us all connected. Chef Travis Smith, of course, of Bistro Colorado, and he's putting together a delicious dinner for us. We're kind of going in chronological order of just throughout the time. If you missed the first portion of the show, we hit where did the Modern Eater come from, what's the past, a little bit of my broadcasting past into Chef Jesper Jonsson, who helped Jay and I found the show with us. Into other relationships.
Hey, don't miss, we did jump into Jay's broadcast career quite a bit.
Yes, we did. He was an intern for the Mandy Connell show, and I adopted him. He was my guy. Jay, the first time I said...
I can trace back. I can trace all this back to one moment.
To one moment.
Was that where you felt like you took a wrong turn when
Greg,
you were looking for someone's house? Or what was that moment?
When I would show up for the Mandy Connell show at like 6 o'clock in the morning or something, and this is bartending until after 3, and I'd come into the studio and Greg would say, oh, man, he'd be like, whoa. He goes, I forgot you existed, and then he'd just slide the phone over to him, like talk to people that call.
And then try and freak him out as much as I possibly could. Like, is this a business you want to be in? Do you know how bizarre and strange we are? Because you are constrained, I guess you would want to say. Shannon, you can testify to this. What goes on off mic, right? I mean, we push the envelope because we're constrained so much during a show that we make up for it during commercials and the news and just in our lives in general.
Especially on the AM side. Everybody thinks the FMs are crazy. No. We have to release a lot more up here.
Yes, we do. and have throughout the year.
I mean, I'll tell you this. When you go to broadcasting school, or at least when I went to the broadcasting school, and I believe the things they tell you, they're like, you never swear in a studio regardless of any kind of microphone. In studio, you don't swear. And I thought that makes sense. And then they're like, in a studio, regardless, you don't even have a bottle of water in a studio and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, right? And so then I got my internship. I go in there, and the things that are said when the microphones are off, you're just like, oh my God, if a microphone was on,
Shannon,
everybody in here goes to jail.
How many times have what's supposed to be off the microphone went through and never got caught? A couple of people got hung up for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, a few people that were filling in for me. It hasn't happened to me, and as a matter of fact, the one thing I dump more than profanity is when a caller gives away a movie ending.
Well, I remember this too. The first, and there's a Starbucks, a 40-ounce Starbucks, extra sugar, extra caramel, right next to seemingly $1 million mixing board type thing. And I'm like, like nothing happens.
Yeah, don't eat or drink in the studio.
Yeah, they don't. I'm like, but it made me feel good to be like, oh, okay. This is the real world, though, and that's like any job, but because broadcasting was so foreign to it's like when you train for a restaurant job and they're like, listen, here's how we do everything, here's the policies, and you're like, okay, you're 14, and you're like, okay, and then once you get a job there and you're like, oh, you can sexually harass everybody in here, like that's the way.
Well, wait, you just didn't say that, but
hey, Shannon,
I'm just saying that's the reality.
Shannon, did you ever spill anything into a board?
Recently, no.
Like he's going to admit to it.
I actually spilled a gallon of top ramen into a board while I was doing a remote.
A gallon of top ramen. You remember the guy that worked over there at iHeart that slammed his foot? He wore a trench coat every day. First of all, you thought you were going to die every time you were around him. Was that the guy who took his boot and just put a dent right in the middle of the board?
Oddly, I think it was a different guy that wasn't as scary in person, looking, but yeah.
Well, so here, I've got one for all three of you just because I haven't been doing this as long as you guys have.
Yes.
And I got to believe, though, that in the last 10 years, the radio industry has changed. I mean, it's just
tremendously.
Hey,
Shannon, you remember
podcasts?
You remember Facebook? No, none of that. Turn the mic on, turn the mic off, or you go do it. Back when broadcasting was actually really powerful.
We had a boss in a meeting once say, Facebook, that's stupid. Why would you ever do that?
And now you live around. And podcasts. We never had podcasts at the beginning. Shannon, how long you been in the business?
End of 93, October of 93.
Quite a while. What got you into the business?
I was seeing guys like Peter Boyles and such at my family's restaurant back in the 70s and 80s, eating for free, drinking for free, doing a little something powdery in the bathroom, and leaving with a cocktail waitress. I thought, what magical job is this? I've got to...
and listen, Shannon, we could do a whole show on Shannon, right? You remember Colorado? What was it? The
Colorado Mine Company.
Mine Company. I just had a stroke there. Elvis used to go in there and order sandwiches, right? What was his favorite sandwich, Shannon?
The Fool's Gold Loaf. It was a pound of peanut butter and raspberry jam covered with bacon on an Italian loaf.
Mm-hmm. He used to fly. The story I know is that Elvis used to charter a plane and fly.
Oh, it was his plane. It was the Lisa Maria 727 that he owned.
He would randomly buy people Cadillacs.
Yeah.
Shannon, why didn't he randomly buy you a Cadillac, man?
Well, I wasn't old enough, but he did for a couple of people I knew, Jerry Kennedy and Art Dill, a couple of police chiefs.
Unbelievable. So we're already up against the break, but we got to continue. Zach Johnston, the Spice Guy. I hear Parker in the background. Zach, is that you?
Yeah, we're here loud and clear.
Cool. Do you mind just chilling, kind of going with the flow here, because we're just all over the place. But we're gonna tell a story real quick, come back, put you on hold, come back. The Spice Guys are going to join us right now. I want to go to Shannon, and let's set this up. How do we set this up? This is the end of the 2018 road trip, right, Brian? This was the last leg. We're going to Trainer Ranch. It was a Saturday night. This is the iHeart Show. We're broadcasting all week on the street.
Well, and you got to remember, this is the first time that Jay, Greg, and Brian drove in a truck for a solid 7 days. We'd only known each other for 6 months. And, we found out Jay does not ever like to be around anybody, especially sleeping.
End of the leg. End of the trip.
End of the leg.
So, Shannon, take it from there. We asked you to come down there, set up a remote. You got there early. And, Shannon, what's the process of setting up a remote, just so you're sure that we're going to, get off without a hitch?
Say got there early. I got there the night before. Sugar Town. What was the name of the place?
Yep, you're right.
Sugar City.
Loved it. Remember when we got there, the guy that owned the ranch had to go into town for his high school reunion. There was at least 9 or 10 of them that had gotten back together. But when I got there, I tested the line that we needed, because you guys broadcast, as you are right now, via the internet. And it doesn't use a lot of bandwidth, and I went and I set it up and I tested it, and we are getting 9 megs of throughput, great bandwidth for what we need. It worked for 12 hours before you guys got on the air, and then remember, a little wind kicked up. I think we actually have a recording from that day.
I'm showing you right now.
We were holding on to the
video
tent to keep it down. Yep.
Oh, we all lost our hats, and we lost the internet connection.
So when that happens, what do you do, Shannon?
You scramble to try to get some other connection, and all we could end up with was you guys on two phones in a bunkhouse next to the main house.
That's the right thing to do, isn't it?
Oh, the show must go on. I'm so sorry I let you down. That was a huge disappointment.
You got to look at the video right now because you can see
the wind's kicking up.
Yeah, the wind's. I've got one hand on the tent.
It was such a bizarre, 15 minutes of I don't even know why the wind kicked up when it did, but it came through and the tent was going to blow away. The broadcast ended, and Jay and I don't know, you guys were still sitting at that table. I grabbed my phone, ran into the bunkhouse, called the studio so that I could get a line in. I think you guys were still trying. What were you doing, Shannon? Just trying to get a connection?
Yeah, I was trying to do something with my phone as a hotspot. I threw everything I could at that thing.
You threw everything you could. 303-713-8255 if you have a moment that you would like to talk about TME. 5 years, man. I mean, you can go through Summer Dinner Series, 2 years of that. First year at Jared Leonard's. At the time, it was called Barbecue Supply.
I've got it queued up right now.
You
because
do?
That was one of my favorite.
When we get back, because we're going in chronological order, we got to talk about how we met Little Rich Schneider. Little Rich, you remember that?
I sure do. Actually, we met because of a mistake, a misunderstanding.
Okay, hold it there. A mistake, a misunderstanding, and sometimes that's how love works. That's how love works. This is a great night. I'm having so much fun. Thank you guys for joining us. It's 5 years of TME, the Modern Eater Show. Generally, on a Saturday night, we'd be packed in here. We'd have brewers and distillers in the Little Rich corner all flaring up, and me and Brian in our place, and Jay over in his place, and interviewing people, and just a good time.
It is so weird. I mean, well, it is. I think moments like this, someone once said that to me when I started Growers Organic. They're like, Brian, you're going to remember this moment when we were delivering these 5 cases in the snowstorm. And I do.
This magic moment.
That is the truth.
Yeah. I love it. I love all of you. Thank you. This is the community, and I'm glad you're getting to listen to this tonight. The Modern Eater Show continues.
Shoot your path through Cyberland.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Please listen. This is important. Anyone can be affected by the prescription opioid crisis. If you think you've been hurt by Purdue or its prescription opioids like OxyContin, you may be entitled to compensation as part of Purdue's bankruptcy. But you have to file a claim. Claims may include overdose, death, substance use disorder, lost wages, and neonatal abstinence syndrome. A confidential claim can be filed by individuals, a legal guardian, by survivors or relatives of people who have died or are disabled. The deadline to file a claim is June 30th, 2020, or you will lose your right to file a claim. For more information, visit PurduePharmaClaims.com, or you can call toll-free 1-844-217-0912. That's 1-844-217-0912. Paid for by Prime Clerk, LLC.
Hey, it's Greg Holland back for Gluten-Free Things. Are you intolerant or sensitive to gluten? Or maybe you're a gluten-free lifestyler? Is your menu limited because you've eliminated gluten from your diet? Are you missing the taste of foods that traditionally contain gluten? What if I told you that you can add breads, pizzas, muffins, cakes, cookies, waffles, croissants, English muffins, the list goes on, right back to your menu? Gluten-Free Things is a local gluten-free and vegan bakery that reintroduces you to the foods you love. Owner John Irvin believes gluten-free shouldn't taste like the box that it's packaged in. Trust me when I tell you, the products from his bakery in Arvada are fresh, flavorful, and masterly crafted, leaving you with a product that tastes like the real thing. Simply delicious. The bakery is located in Arvada on 64th and Sims across the street from Arvada West High School. Check out their website at glutenfreethings.com. You'll be amazed with the variety of gluten-free products they make. And chefs, don't leave your gluten-free restaurant guests without options. Contact John at info at glutenfreethings.com. That's
10 to alive.
Things.com to see what he can do for you. Give him a shot. 11651 West 64th Avenue in Arvada. It's
Can you blow that
Gluten-Free
out?
Things.
Just in time?
Yeah, just in time to come back.
That's right.
The Modern Eater Show continues.
Yeah, that's right.
Live?
Nah, hit it.
Hey guys, it's Carly Smith, the Fairy Godmother here. Don't get too excited. Live from Studio Kitchen, Colorado. I love your guts. You're listening to the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio. Let's go make some bone broth.
I'll tell you what, Carly Smith, as we talk about the Fairy Godmother, as we continue on our 5-year anniversary, Summer Dinner Series, Carly Smith, what a great chef she is. She was just meticulous of what she laid out and how she plated it and the food, and Chef Cheeto helped her out. But wow, Carly Smith, she's something else.
Isn't it interesting, though, that someone like that's not necessarily the trained chef, she took so much time to make sure that was such a special dinner.
Yeah, meticulous.
Yeah.
You talk about the trained chef. We have talent in the kitchen tonight. I can't wait to have Chef Travis Smith back in here when Studio Kitchen is doing what Studio Kitchen usually does. Chef Travis Smith, of course, from Bistro Colorado, and we're waiting for that restaurant to open back up. May 11th is the target date for that.
Where's his new location? Have you been there yet?
It's on Broadway.
Yep, right at Broadway and I-25.
Sobo.
Yep.
South Broadway. Cool stuff. Travis is cooking us up dinner tonight for our 5-year anniversary. Thank you, Travis. That's fantastic. Chef's here. We continue. Little Rich Schneider and both of these guys, the Spice Guy, Zach Johnston, here with us online, and Shannon Scott back at the studio, myself, Greg Hollenbach, Jay Parker, Brian Freeman. We continue. Let's go into the story of how we met Little Rich, then we're going to go into how we met Zach Johnston. Little Rich Schneider, you there?
Oh, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay. Who wants to set this? Well, I'll set it up.
Well, let me throw a tickler. It wasn't in Denver.
What do you mean?
It wasn't in
Denver. It was
Denver.
in Aurora.
Was it? No, I thought it was down in the Springs.
Where we met Little Rich? Nope. First time we met Little Rich was the ACF President's Awards dinner at the hangar in the Stanley Marketplace. Am I wrong, Rich?
No, that's absolutely correct. But, we did meet because of a misunderstanding.
Go ahead. Do it.
Well, JP came up to me, and he says, hey, these guys are
Wait,
over
who's
the table,
JP? Who's
and
JP?
They want to talk to you about...
Richie, go slow. Richie,
Yes.
Richie, go slow. People don't know who JP is. Some people do.
Oh, okay.
But just, explain
JP
along.
Krause, who was the then president of the ACF. And he says, hey, these guys over at this table want to talk to you about Colorado farm animals, and their show... It was loud, and so I thought he said the modern breeder. So I'm like, well,
we were the modern dater and the modern drinker and the modern eater,
but
and the modern breeder wouldn't be too bad. And we've had a suggestion of the modern dieter.
But what's weird is that he wanted to talk to you.
Should we do the modern dieter or no?
But no, Greg, he wanted to talk to you still after someone had said they wanted to talk to you about farm animals, and they're from the modern dater. And Richie was still like, hey, yeah. I'm interested.
Let's do it.
I'm in.
Take it away, Richie.
So, no, came over, sat down, talked with you guys, and we all just got along. I mean, obviously, we had very many of the same thoughts, just hadn't met each other yet. And I remember that's when we were talking about hyper-local, all the different things.
Wait, hold on, Richie. I have to correct you because you are actually the first person that I heard the term hyper-local from. Mm-hmm. And when I heard that, I fell in love with Richie. I said, man, tell me more about hyper-local. Talk about that just for a second, Richie, where you were going with hyper-local.
Well, back then, it was something, it was a drum we had been beating at Raquelita's for quite a while, is utilizing as many hyper-local ingredients as we could as ingredients. That being Colorado-grown wheat, Colorado corn, the Colorado Mills oil, and how we can make a better impact to our local community and make a superior product. You didn't have to compromise, and so that's what we started talking about.
It was.
I remember we had a blast.
Well, we did. At the time, we weren't doing video, so we took some photos. And there's one photo which is so cool. So Jay's in a suit, right? There's a picture of Richie, Jay, and Jay. Was there a kid there? Who was in that photo? All I know is that I was in this photo, but I wasn't in the photo because of what, Richie?
You can see your hands. Jay was like leaning forward, doing something on the control board.
So cool. Brian, you were there that night with the lovely Heather.
Yes,
you were.
Yes, I was.
And it was we were just getting all to know each other. We jumped forward to.
I don't remember any of that.
You don't?
Any of it.
You remember we were podcasting that night.
Nah,
we weren't even broadcasting live. We were just.
I don't remember wearing a suit. You know what I do remember about Little Rich? I remember the hyper-local thing, and I remember you saying specifically, Mr. Schneider, the person I just met, I'm going to steal that phrase.
Yeah, do you mind?
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
And I did.
And then I blacked out.
Absolutely. Were you drinking then?
Yeah. What year was it?
No.
I wasn't drinking then?
I don't think those were your drinking years. That was 18, wasn't it?
Yeah, I gotta pick that back up.
It's been a while. How long you been sober, Jay?
Over 3 years now.
Good for you. Congrats. Zach Johnson, jump in, man. Here we go. Welcome, Zach Johnston.
What's up, boys? How y'all doing? Congratulations on 5 years.
Man, what do you think? 5 years, dude. There's a lot of memories here.
Yeah, we all know.
We just keep going, man. Can't stop, won't stop. And give us an idea. First time you heard of the Modern Eater, Zach, what was that?
Well, as you guys know now, I try to stay as tuned in with all my customers as I can. And what that means a lot of times is following their social media and seeing what they're up to. And so the first time I think I saw you guys was through Preston Phillips when he was opening Grind and we were trying to court him to buy spices from us, which ultimately led to be a huge mistake because now we have to keep working with him.
That's true.
Just kidding, Preston. And I think I assumed that you guys were way cooler than you actually are.
You're right about that.
And and then I think it might have been like 2 years after that I finally met up with you guys. And my first time with you was in Colorado Kitchen, or Studio Kitchen, Colorado, sorry. And
I like Colorado
someone that works
Kitchen.
in Brian's organization. Someone that works in Brian's organization at Growers was trying to talk me into conning you for free sponsorship.
Free? Nice. I like it because
our reputation precedes ourselves.
Yeah, we gave it away anyway. So, Zach, that I like the good insight there. Truth be told, and I'll tell you this, is that we were trying to get into your ear for quite some time. Jay, you were trying to book Zach on the show for a while, and it didn't work out. Why?
I don't remember.
He was elusive, and then we got another spice person in, which we love him, but we wanted to fill that category up of like spices was a category. Yeah. We need to have that category filled. Who wants to come to the dance? And there was Spicy Dan. We put it out there with Spicy Dan. Said, hey, Spicy Dan, you want to do that?
He came on, and he did a good job in the spices. But the Zach thing, truthfully, I just remember when finally we got connected to the Spice Guy. And Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Greg actually got a hold of you first or something like that, because I remember Greg going.
Kept saying, get Zach on.
Well, I just remember going, that's our guy. I remember Greg telling me that because we had talked to a few different spice people, had a few different spice people come on the show, bring product, and all that stuff. But I remember after Greg met you somewhere, somehow, and maybe it was the show or maybe it was just a phone call, but I remember Greg going, that's our guy. He's like, that's our guy.
So what is my connection then with Zach and his black magic? Because that's where I remember Zach first coming into the summer dinner series. And
Wait, really?
Yes, and someone used his black magic spice.
Now I have
Cheeto made his black magic spice.
Okay, I have early days. So Zach holding up Parker here. This was a slow night at Studio Kitchen.
Jay, put this chicken on because this is when we needed.
Hold on, here it comes.
Here comes Zach
This is all of us. Now this isn't.
Wait,
his
hold
chicken.
on. I got this one.
Oh,
up
do you?
here.
Okay.
No, what do you have? Do you have Zach Johnson?
I have us sitting by that river with that chicken.
Oh, okay.
The
Can
beer
you
can
hold that
chicken,
one down?
yeah.
Hold that down.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is the first time we met Zach Johnston right here. And when we saw your daughter Parker, just fresh out, fresh to life, That's when we were like, okay, this is it. This is the guy. And ever since then, Zach, you made a couple bucks off us, though, didn't you?
Yeah. It's all
good.
Like I told you, I'll keep a spreadsheet of everything I ever get from you.
He's the data guy. Zach, going from there, can you tell us one of your favorite TME moments?
I think one of my favorite days was the first day coming on. I think we had a connection. I think that Jay and Greg understood my sense of humor, and I think it translated a little bit to the radio, which was fun. And then I think the first time that I really figured out what you guys were actually doing was at the Proud Souls barbecue in the parking lot on a remote there.
Okay,
and it was like everybody, you guys had everybody, like Jeff Jabot was there, Cheeto was there, and everybody wanted to be on your show. And I was like, man, everybody comes to this stuff.
That was it, huh?
That was
hey,
it.
Shannon, you were there for that one, weren't you?
I think so.
You remember that was on Broadway at what was the name of that theater? That was the
Oriental or the
no, what's
the Gothic?
Gothic Theater.
Gothic.
We were by Lake Englewood, I remember.
Yeah, we won, and it rained. Right, we were sitting our feet in puddles, and that's what we did. As broadcasters, that was what we do. You don't turn just because it's raining out. So I'm sitting there with my feet soaked on the ground for 2 hours, and we just let it continue. More moments in time. Gosh, and then the Spice Guy Zach Johnston. Ever since then, just kind of been Zach. Truth or dare? Truth or dare, Zach?
Oh man, dare always.
Oh, it's a dare. I was hoping you'd say
truth. How about you?
Yeah, I was going to say. I was
Zach,
going to do a
truth.
dare on the phone.
Here it is, man. We talk every day.
That's true. Yeah, we do it. You and I. My wife actually told me the other day that she thinks I talk to you more than I talk to her.
That's not true. But, Zach, I'm telling you, one of the smartest business guys, and through this I'm hearing that turbulent time. He tells, here's what I've learned from Zach since 4 weeks, right? Lean and mean. You're going to figure out who your friends are. You're going to hurry up and pivot, get ready. And if you don't get 4 or 5 side hustles while we're sitting on the sidelines right now, what'd you say, Zach?
Lack of discipline, not lack of time.
He's the guy. He's the guy. And, I mean, you're just thinking clear right now as your company was devastated, right?
Yeah, we got hit pretty hard at the beginning. We're climbing our way out of that hell that we've been in for how many ever, the exact amount of days as you broadcast it every time.
Yeah, we have to thank people. Dave Avery, what's he meant to the show over the years? Dave Avery, we met him at the summer dinner series, I believe. He was a guest at Barbecue Supply Company at the time. You'll know it as AJ's Pit Barbecue. And Dave Avery was just a helpful guy. He was the tech guy, or as Rich would say, the IT guy.
I mean, he saved my life because I don't know how I was supposed to do that streaming without him.
Could you do it now?
Somehow.
You think?
No, I can't.
Oh.
But I remember Dave Avery, and God, I hope he's listening, but I remember him staring at me, and I've told this story before. I'll make it quick. I remember him looking at me as I was trying to, how do I do any of this? And he just has this look on his face like if this guy needs help, and he comes over and he says, "Can I help you? I've done audio for 30 years." And I said, "Yeah, you want my car? Can you just make this sound go from here to there, and I'll give you my car,
And so if I come up and tell you that I'm a bartender and you didn't make a drink right, that's a totally different thing.
I tell you to
die.
But
I've been doing sound for 30 years, man, and you look like you're lost.
TheModernEater.com, just click on it and click on that little magnifying glass and go into search. You'll see. Jay, grab my computer.
I got you, baby.
You got me?
Yep. Hey, Greg, can I ask you a question?
Yeah. As I'm showing you TheModernEater.com, we've got years and years of content. Your favorite people. If you love food and beverage and agriculture or whatever it is, put it into our search bar. You can see it right here. Throw it into the search bar. You'll get 5 years worth of interviews, content. We're not kidding around. If they're in the business, we've met them, and as Richie would say, our Rolodex is big. Go ahead.
My question for you, who's coming after the break? Because we got to get
to
break.
You know who it is, Travis.
Well, and can we eat his food?
Of course we can eat his food. We're going to eat his food during the break because it doesn't translate. Hey, Jay, you put a new post up. It was March 11th, the last, and listen to how busy we are because we've been putting content out every single day doing a show. Monday through Friday, 2 to 5 p.m., the Modern Eater Show. What was our last video? 11,000 views. Doing some good stuff, and people are really liking it. But now, from March 11th to April 10th is the post, just because, couple-man band. And that's what we do it right now, as we're lean and mean, as Zach Johnston would say. Let's take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to thank Chef Travis Smith, who put his hand up and said, I'm going to cook you guys dinner on your anniversary, because you know what we would have had tonight? The biggest blowout you would have ever seen. They would have been in a party. Who remembers? Just put your hand up if you remember last year, anniversary party, 4 years, Chef Cheeto outside with what was it? La Sochi food truck. And we were all out in the parking lot. We took a big old selfie out there. It was a good time, and this place was packed. It's springtime in the Mile High City. It's a little different right now, but we're looking to get back to it.
Yes, we are.
Richie, do you remember last year here at Studio Kitchen, Colorado?
Oh, absolutely. That was a blast.
That was something else. Let's break, come back, and then Dr. Sara Metz will close out the show. The Modern Eater Show continues.
Path through Cyberland.
Hey, Shannon, don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos.
She is not on, and do you want Zach gone?
TheModernEater.com.
Speak a new language, but you thought it'd be...
He and Rich are gone.
Too much.
They both hung up.
Go to Babbel.com, download the app, and try it for free. In just 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. And right now, you can try Babbel for free. Babbel starts out teaching you words and phrases by matching them with pictures. You won't believe how easy the interactive program is. Soon the sentences get a little bigger, and before you know it, you're having simulated conversations voiced by native speakers. And because Babbel is crafted by language experts and uses the spaced repetition method, in just 10 to 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking the language of your choice with real confidence. With Babbel, you can speak a language. Just go to Babbel.com and start your first lesson in the language of your choice for free. Download the Babbel app or go to Babbel.com and try it for free. That's Babbel.com.
Hi, I'm Charlie Gottenkenny, brewmaster at Brews Beers, Denver's award-winning Belgian-style brewery. I am very pleased to tell you that our new tap room at Colfax and York in Congress Park is now open, and it is a unique experience. It's close to great restaurants, has a big sunny patio for warmer days, will feature live music, and it has a very cool contemporary Belgian-style bar and tap room. To celebrate our second location, we have 18 beers on tap, including several limited edition sour and barrel-aged beers. For some holiday good cheer, try our figgy pudding and our unique champagne beer, Brut Le Grand. Check it all out on our website, brewsbeers.com. That's Brews, spelled B-R-U-Z, at 67th and Pecos, and now open in Congress Park at Colfax and York. Join us this week at either location for some serious Belgian-style badassery.
Wear black and eat spices. Hey, Modern Eater listeners, this is Zach from the Spice Guy, Colorado's favorite spice company. Spice is the variety of life. At the Spice Guy, we have a passion for sourcing the best ingredients from the best farmers all over the world. Choose from thousands of different GMO-free spices and ingredients, or let us create and blend custom flavor profiles for whatever style of food it is that you're working with. With over 1,000 restaurants, food brands, and chefs behind us, you can't go wrong when you choose the Spice Guy for all your spice needs. The Spice Guy.
Spicy.
Born in Breck, raised in Denver.
TheSpiceGuyCo.com.
Hey, you know what? It's the new year, and everyone's always looking for new ways to be more profitable. And so they always attack the different line items, but one almost everybody never looks at is their utilities, what they're spending on natural gas. Brian, do you have any tips for us on how to save money on natural gas?
Absolutely. Just call me. Call me. That's all you got to do.
What's that number, Brian?
That number is 720-245-5771.
Be sure and give Brian a call at Encore Energy.
Hi,
Hi, this is Lori Midson. I'm a food hack, a.k.a. food writer. I was just told that I should put my lines. And you're listening to The Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Back to the show, The Modern Eater Show. Jay Parker, Greg Hollenbeck, Brian Freeman.
People think we sound alike.
I know they do. I don't know why they say it.
Are you Greg or Jay?
I'm Jay.
Hey, Jay.
I almost said Greg in a weird way.
Really?
Yeah. What you're watching
How about that dream?
Let's get into that another time. What you're watching right now is Chef Travis Smith from Bistro Colorado plate up our dinner tonight, and it pains me because I won't be able to eat it while we do the show, but that's what he's doing, and we're going to talk to him. But Greg, I swear, if I had forgot to say this, I want to talk about our sponsors.
Could you please?
Because our sponsors are the ones that make everything happen.
It really is.
And, if I forgot to do
Let's go with our longest running one.
And
he intimidates the hell out of you.
Oh, he scares the life out of me. Just having him over the broadcast yesterday, I was like, God, I don't want him to yell at me or tell me.
Well, do you remember when he first met you in the iHeart? We were in the big conference room, right? And Jeff Rourke comes in, and you're the trash man, Jay Parker. You got long locks of love. You're
sweet hair,
240 pounds.
Yeah,
you know,
240.
Didn't care much about anything. And we're trying to ask this guy to give us money for the show.
Well, I see now, and whether
he respects you so much because the show's come a long way,
and that makes me feel good, and I love and respect him, but he's definitely the guy to where it's like I would never tell him that, I would just act like I didn't know him or like him if I see, when we're out in public.
And we'd love to thank all of them throughout the years.
All of them, man. Arden Mills obviously is fantastic. Aspen Baking Company, Cody Ann and Hollis and Jeff, they're awesome. Brews Beers, Ryan Evans. And Charlie Gottenkieny, man, they've been around for a long time too, as far as running sponsors right here. And I'm rocking, and they got the best swag around, man. They really do.
Ooh, look at
they
this.
Have the best swag around. And dinner is served, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, Brews Beers, if I drank, they would be my people, but I don't, so I don't. But I love Brews Beers. Colorado Mills Sunflower Products with Zach Kreider. I mean, are you kidding me? This guy does so much for us and the community, and the oil is fantastic, and the world loves Colorado Mills Sunflower Products. The CRA with Sonia Riggs, they keep everybody informed. And we love them, and these are terrible times.
And these are all current sponsors. But we've had a lot throughout the years.
That's where I was going to ask you. I was curious, who's your favorite baby?
Really?
Who's your favorite
How do you
baby?
do that to somebody?
Yeah, no favorite.
Well,
let's just talk about the ones that we don't like because they're gone and they didn't pay us. How about that?
And we've had one or two of those, but we go.
It happens. Yeah. Meridian Spirits, brand new sponsor, a beautiful and wonderful.
I want to
distillery.
say who my favorite one's been throughout the years, and that it has by far, without a doubt, paid the best and biggest dividends. Growers Organic.
That's true.
It was
That's
that
true.
relationship.
I appreciate that.
Well, because here it is, man.
It's just because you saw me naked one time. I know.
One time. Hey, don't diminish that. Brian, you've been such a supporter, not only just giving us your time, which we'd have just stopped there, but you're like, I feel it's important that I want to support on a financial level because I know how much that would mean to you. Brian, you're the bee's knees, baby.
Oh, thanks, Greg. I appreciate that, man.
You've given so much to this community financially, your time, product, whatever. TME is nothing without Brian Freeman.
Well, thank you.
Nothing.
I would say you guys really do the same for me because there's been so much for me that has been around the show and around what we're doing and the fact that you've always given me the voice for the farmers.
You needed the voice.
Well, I mean, I've
it.
been beating organic from every rooftop.
And we're going to do this for years. And if you hear Brian's voice and you know what he's all about, you're going to hear it for years and years and years and years to come. Because Brian Freeman, what did he do? He invented produce, and he knows more. Or he's forgotten more than I'll ever know. Let's do this because we have the doctor on hold, Dr. Sara Metz, Dr. Baby Yoda. But we have to bring this gentleman on because he just plated up some delicious food. Let's spend a couple minutes with it. Do you have his mic on?
No, that's what I told you. I said, tell me when you're going to do them. I'll cue him up. All right, hold on.
All right, plugging him in.
Just 2 seconds, man. Just 2 seconds. That's all I need.
Show tonight.
That's all I need. Come right over here. Come right over here, Chef, and we'll get you fired up, and then I'll get a camera.
I got to tell you, Greg, why Jay is doing this I'm looking at where we've got Travis
just hold
set up.
that.
I
Do me a
just set
favor,
up this
sit right
little
where I want to eat it right now.
TV tray, folks. You got
Chef,
to
how
look
are
at
you?
this.
Doing good. Good to hear you. Okay, see that thing? Just bend it into your mouth so you can hear you.
All right.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Cool, man. We met, I don't know, when was it? Tell us the story, the first time we met, or your first memory of the Modern Eater.
Oh, man. That's a good question. I've been watching you guys for quite a while. I don't know, even back when I was up in Evergreen, I was watching back then. Brian came into the restaurant, told me about the show, and said, check it out. So I started tuning in periodically, and then, but so much more recently.
When it hit the fan.
When stuff hit the fan, and since we moved back down and we kind of relocated the restaurant on South Broadway, so it's been a constant, fire hose of information. You guys are doing amazing things.
What do you like the best
wait, hold
about
on.
it?
I need to steal the fire hose of information.
Yeah.
Shit, I love that. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, man, it's been great just seeing all the things that the people coming in, the experts in the field from Juan Padro and Jared Leonard and
the list goes on.
The whole gang, yeah. And Dr.
And now you're
Dr.
part
Baby
of the
Yoda.
game.
Yeah.
Dr. Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
She's
Nice way to-
online waiting for us here.
Yeah.
You cooked us up some food tonight. You felt it was important to be with us on our anniversary, and that just, beyond belief. It feels so good. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know what you guys had in mind, and, I thought, well, why not make the offer? And the worst you could say was, no, we've got somebody else cooking, and that's fine. But
And I am
anyway.
so glad because I just started tasting this.
It's
I am
perfect.
so glad you said yes.
Chef's a part of the family. He's going to be around. We're going to stick with you here, but we need to take a break. We're going to come back. Dr. Baby Yoda is going to join us, as always.
Sounds
and then,
good.
I don't know, I'm getting kind of frisky. Last week we extended the show to the online portion. You guys got 15, 20 minutes on it? Because I'm thinking the doctor's rared up and ready to go. Can I hear her voice? I need that inspiration.
Not yet.
I can't
Not
hear.
yet.
She's not there? You haven't called
Nope.
her? Oh, you haven't
Nope.
called her. Okay.
Nope.
We'll get her back. Let's break. We'll come back. Thank you.
Yeah.
Chef Travis Smith.
Absolutely.
Bistro Colorado.
Choose your path through Cyberland.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans and Rocket Mortgage. During these challenging times, our commitment to providing you with the best mortgage experience remains. We understand that hardships may arise, and we're prepared to help. Mortgage rates remain near historic lows. If you think that now is the right time to refinance your mortgage, our home loan experts are available to help 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at rocketmortgage.com.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
This is Joanne Jenkins, CEO of AARP. The coronavirus continues to affect us all, and we are here actively supporting you and your community. Every day, we're providing trusted information from top health experts, sharing tools to help protect families from fraud, and creating resources to support family caregivers everywhere. As always, you can count on AARP to advocate for you and your family. Join us and stay connected at aarp.org/coronavirus.
Hey, it's Chef Elon Wenzel, owner of Element Knife Company. If you cook, then you'll know the importance of a quality knife and proper care. My training in Japan exposed me to exceptional cutlery. That's why I am so excited to offer you the knives I fell in love with. Element Knife Company is chef-driven, and my goal is to support and educate. Get at me for a knife clinic or conversation. Find me at elementknife.com or by simply calling 303-460-4628. For the best knives in your kitchen, think Element Knife Company.
Hey guys, Chris Johnson here, owner of Rome Sausage, your hyper-local source for all things sausage awesomeness. My family is proud to carry on the fine traditions of Rome's founder, Jerry Rome, by producing a variety of amazing sausage in small batches with an eye on quality, not quantity. Every batch is made here in the great state of Colorado by hand mixing spices, utilizing lean cuts of pork to make an outstanding product. Sourcing ingredients and materials locally, we are committed to supporting local vendors, chefs, restaurants, and the entire Colorado food scene. Getting hungry yet? Brats, Italian, breakfast, hot Polish, green chili, chicken apple, and the world's best chorizo. You can source all of our sausage through a variety of food service distributors. If your distributor doesn't carry it, call us. We'll come direct. You want a custom item? We'll do that too. Samples, and of course, sausage jokes, can be had by contacting me directly at chris@romesausage.com or by phone at 303-296-7663. The modern eater loves Rome sausage, and I know you will too.
What do you get when you have two women who love to play with corn? A unique craft distillery, of course. Let me explain. Hi, my name is Alex Tudor. My mom and I own Meridian Spirits, located right here in Colorado. Chances are you've seen our award-winning Coupe Gin and Coupe Vodka on the shelves at many fine local retail locations. Here's our mission. My mom and I believe that family is important, and our business is a reflection of that. When you taste our delicious and locally crafted spirits in a cocktail or by themselves, you'll taste our passion for what we do. Hear our story and watch our progress this year on The Modern Eater. We love to share because everything is more fun with friends. Next time you choose a vodka or gin, consider us, Meridian Spirits.
Now it's time for the Modern Eater's Booze in the News segment.
I like my beer cold, my meat grilled, and my entertainment explosive.
All we need is a chair and a cooler beer.
Here's your booze news.
Yes, indeedy. What?
Mr. Tweety.
Yes, indeedy, Mr. Tweety. The 5-year anniversary show continues right here on iHeart 630 KHOW and streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Instagram. That's how we do
Twitter.
it. Twitter, yes, sir. Let's continue. I think we have Dr. Baby Yoda with us, right?
You do indeed.
Hi, Dr. Baby. Is it weird hearing that? Like, that's my name? That's how you talk to me?
I wouldn't answer to anything else now. That's just forever after. That's what I'll be known for.
This is Shannon played Chewbacca Wookiee right there back at the studio. The radio show's a lot different. It's kind of interesting, and it doesn't reflect the Monday through Friday show, does it, Doctor?
It doesn't, but I'm loving the energy you guys have tonight. I've been tuning in here and there and watching Chef Travis cook, and you all share stories, and it's just brought a huge smile to my face to hear all the love going around.
It's over the years, right?
It's so cool. 5 years. Happy anniversary.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. I do love you, man. I mean,
oh, back at ya.
What would we have done, Jay? What would we have done without the doctor, Brian? Without the doctor, over the past 4 weeks, what would we have done? We would have killed each other, right?
Yeah, probably.
Earned the place to the
we might
ground.
Have died from this infection, that's for sure.
Hey, doctor, it's going to be weird. We want everybody to see you, but you remember how we went and extended it? I don't know what your time is tonight or what Nick's got you up to. But maybe we do the next 5 minutes here, and then we extend it over for 10 or 15, because Brian, I want to tell you some breakthroughs that Brian's gone through.
Ooh, I'm in.
You got some time? Okay, cool.
I'm in, absolutely. You guys should eat first, though.
Oh,
we are. We are.
Doing it right now as we speak. Hey, you've spent a very short time with us, right?
Yep.
And you're going to continue on. But I want you, you didn't even know that you met us when Brian, did you know that the doctor met us?
I had not remembered that.
Where did she meet us?
At the Blue Bear Farm. Troy Gard was there. You remember that deal that we put together?
Yes, I remember.
She was there with Mary Mino, Little Rich Schneider. This was the Brain Trust got together,
Mm-hmm.
and they were in they were undercover, very low to the ground. But what was that meet? Can you give us a peek in on what that meeting was about? The first time that you got a little sniff of the Modern Eater and you didn't even know it.
Well, we were totally planning on taking over the world, and that's still in the works. But we were Little Rich was there, and we were planning on offering like resiliency trainings for the restaurant industry. And we managed to pull a couple of those off before all of this happened. And I think once things open back up, we'll keep doing that. We've gone into kind of had just some open forums for anybody who wants to come and attend some trainings. We've had some great people. From the first one we did, I met the folks at Black Belly in Boulder, and we ended up doing a training just for their staff. And we've done a couple of those kind of smaller, just morale and pick-me-up trainings for different restaurant owners and their crews. So it's just kind of a way to bring some of the mental wellness training to people. And it's been really cool, and I look forward to being able to do more of that.
I love to hear that Chef Hosea up in Black Belly cares so much about his employees and the people that he works with, that he was bringing you in. I love to hear that.
Amazing.
Yeah, he and his wife. So I met his wife, came to the training and liked it so much that she talked Hosea into meeting me as well. And then we did it was really cool. They had one of their investors opened up his house, and we did like a really cool training day at a house and hung out, and it was really neat. They had a picnic afterwards for all their folks. They're really supportive of wellness. It was really cool.
So short time that we've been together, and just a couple minutes left in the iHeartRadio broadcast. I want to spend 1 minute first, talk about Code 4. This is a different audience. If you would do that so that we can give you the acclaim that you deserve.
Oh, well, thank you. So Code 4 Counseling is intended, and we've always kind of been available to take care of emergency responders and their families. So that's kind of the brainchild. My husband is retired law enforcement, and so he and I have always been really passionate about taking care of our responders. And so this is a business he and I opened up together 2.5 years ago. And we do counseling, couples counseling and kiddo counseling and all sorts of different counseling and training for responders. Now we're kind of, with everything going on with COVID, we've moved into working with medical personnel and hospitals. And we're creating these amazing friendships with the restaurant industry. So we'll see what that partnership looks like with Code 4 moving forward as well.
It's going to be good. The short time that you've been with us, do you have a favorite moment?
I thought you were going to ask if I had a favorite one of you, and I was like, oh, my God, you're totally pulling the whole who's my favorite kid.
Never, because it's Jay. I mean, why wouldn't it be Jay? I love Jay. A favorite moment.
A favorite moment? I don't know. I think the first time you got me to dance, that was pretty fun.
Well, you liked it.
I would only do, well, I know I would always hate that, but the fact that you got me to do that means I love you guys. So that was a favorite moment. And I think every time we all just are able to take a moment and just laugh and enjoy the company. I miss Rebecca being on here, but I know she's doing amazing things. And so I'm so excited. I keep tabs on her, and I know she's doing great things to take care of the hospital workers as well. So there's been a lot of great moments.
That's so cool. Shannon Scott, who is the engineer extraordinaire back at iHeart, you need counseling worse than anybody I know, Shannon. Do you have a
worse than Jay?
Yeah, oh, my God. Shannon.
Thank you, doctor.
Anything for the doctor, Shannon?
I have too many problems to list.
Too many problems to list. I get it. I need to.
He says with pride.
Doctor, you're going to stick around with us. We're going to have you connect to the chat room, and we'll get you on there to the broadcast, and then we're going to get into some fun stuff. Guys, if you're listening on 630 KHOW, we've loved you for 5 years. Thank you for loving us. We will continue on, and I hope you'll join us throughout the stories, and you heard them tonight. It means so much to us, and just humbled by the whole experience. We'll continue to serve you, and for Jay Parker and Brian Freeman, and tonight, Chef Travis Smith, Shannon Scott, the whole team, Little Rich Schneider, Zach Johnston, the Spice Guy, Dr. Sara Metz. We'll continue on the other side. Tune in to the Modern Eater Facebook page. Right here. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right, we're continuing on. That's how Jay's like, it's seamless. We're going. Okay, so Dr. Sara Metz, she was on the phone at iHeart. We're on our stream on 630 KHOW, right? It's been an interesting week. It's been an interesting, how many days? Brian, 27 days.
No, it just started yesterday. What do you mean?
Wait, yeah. A week. What a week it's been. You are a different person tonight.
Well,
what is up, chicken butt?
Gosh. Well, we all deal with stuff, right? We all have our baggage. We all have our past. We all have our history, and we all have one. I think that we all need to change is our story.
Yeah. Did Dr. Metz because wow, just so humbling because I do that a lot too, and So here it is, but we all have our future, right?
Yes.
Futures.
Well, we get wrapped up in these stories, and I think that stops us from living what we can live with our future.
Can you do that? Can you do that? Just tell this state of mind, where you, and I think transparency and who you are. I mean, who you are speaks for itself. And if there's anything identifying, I've seen a lot of stuff out there with people right now that are kind of wrapped up in their own world, right? No fault to their own, but that's where we are right now with coronavirus. COVID is showing interesting things, and especially being quarantined or stay-at-home orders. We're kind of wrapped up in our own minds and whatever media we're consuming. Last week, talk about last week, the headspace you were in.
Oh, I was in a rough one and couldn't even recognize it for myself. I think we all, for me, it was just life. It was just where a lot of different things were coming together. Mm-hmm. I was in a place of where I just, just closed on a transaction with Growers Organic.
Yes, sir.
Friday the 13th.
If you want to get as deep as you want to get, cool.
Well, I was in a rough, I'll cut through it. I was just in a rough spot that I wasn't able to recognize for myself. I did reach out to you in the very beginning of it and say, I'm not in a good place.
Yeah.
I could recognize that there was something going on for me, but I couldn't really see through how deep it really was.
Thick fog.
Yeah, thick fog. And that has a little to do for me, with the seasonal.
You look so good tonight.
Oh, thanks.
I don't even know what. I mean, you're thin. I don't know. Maybe that's like a bad thing where it's like I lost weight because I was suffering. I don't know what that means. But you look good. Your eyes cleared up. You don't have the bags that you did last week, but you were in an interesting place last week.
Well, lack of sleep. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff, that's unfortunately, I think when our mental status starts going south, we can't see that in ourselves.
Yeah.
And then all of these other things, it's like it's weird because life almost gangs up on you.
Yeah.
Because it's all of a sudden the stress, you can't sleep at night. You can't sleep at night, your cortisol levels are shooting all over the place.
And you're stressed.
And then, and with all of that. And
you watch the nightly news, we're all going to die. Everything's crazy.
Yeah, on top of everything else, it's like hell and damnation.
Yeah.
And so where do you find a happy place? And it was something that at the moment
we got the
was
doctor
elusive.
back. Doctor, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, and we can hear you perfectly.
Hey.
I like that. Do you have like one of those selfie lights on you or something? Why do you look illuminated like an angel?
Oh, it's just natural. It follows me everywhere.
I have a glass of wine. Do you have a libation?
Water.
Water. You do a lot of water. If that's not a glass bottle yet.
But it's a glass.
Is it glass?
It is a glass.
Wow. Good. That's fantastic. I like that.
Right direction.
We're kind of just I don't know if you can you spin that around to show Brian? Brian looks amazing this week.
What happened to Brian?
I don't know. Brian, is there just a little bit? Can you?
I got a petty mani.
You got a petty mani, a massage.
Who was willing to do
Yeah, just leave it there on Brian.
God, look at the glow. He's got a glow too.
He does.
Hi, Brian.
Good evening. How are you doing tonight?
Doctor, when you want to talk about like validity and like what's my self-worth as a doctor and what do, I got to tell you, and I'm not going to speak for Brian, but I think you left Brian with some stuff in 1 week that translated to a different week later.
Well, I'll take full credit. Does Brian give me credit for it too? I mean, it's one thing if you tell me that, Greg. It's another if Brian gives me credit.
Well, I think definitely being able to speak with you and just I think the dialogue that we had helped for sure. It always does. I mean, right? Talking through things in our life really. I think the more we communicate and the better communicators that we are, the more we can get out of this life.
Yeah.
That's my fault. I was trying something, didn't work.
Jay was trying something, didn't work. Oh, you were trying to get the camera on. Yeah. You wanted the doctor to see you, didn't you?
No, not me. I was going to give that back to you and then that to him. And I hit the speaker thing. Remember when you were try that? Yeah. I hit that button, but it's still
really.
It's still
as a remote camera.
Yeah, I can try.
Hey, doctor, we're constantly working here.
5 years in, and this is how
First of all, this is the Brian Freeman that we love and that we care about. And one thing is recognition of yourself. I mean, humility and being humble. That's a tough thing to do, especially when you're an alpha. Yeah, I mean, Brian, you're an alpha. You control energy, man. You really do. Last week, your energy was...
Well, we talked about that, I think, on the show, Doctor. We talked about the fact that, unfortunately, guys like me, fortunately or unfortunately, can walk in a room and change the entire dynamic of the room immediately. Yeah. And we can change it however we want.
Yeah. Positive or negative.
Positive or negative. Yeah. And that's that's a hard thing, especially when a lot of people rely on you to be that bright light in their life. Yeah. And then when it's like when you don't feel like that bright light, how do you bring it anymore?
Yeah.
But I think what's so important for people to hear is because you're an alpha and because you're going to have those days where you can't bring the bright light, I think it's so important for people who are in that same boat with you, recognize you've got to be willing to talk about it and say, I don't have it today. So what I'm going to model for you today is not bright light, but it's how to do the best you can and not bring toxic energy in, even when you're not feeling it. And when you can model that, some days you're going to model the bright light, and that's going to be amazing. And people respond so well to that. And other days you're going to say, nope, I'm not modeling the bright light for you today, but I'm going to model how to be a professional and how to do the best you can with the energy you have. And I think there's a lot of people who can learn from that, because I think a lot of people think, whoa, there's two Brians now. He's multiplying.
Well, what's interesting, wow, you've got us both. Can you see us both? That's crazy. This is Jay Park. Jay's in the zone right now. 5-year anniversary party. Dr. Sara Metz continues with us, and we're kind of just we're breaking down walls, right? That's something that you've been working with us on, is just breaking down those walls. Don't let ego get in the way. Right. I admitted to you on Friday 60%, Doctor.
I was so proud of you. Honestly, like that was a win to me that you were able to say I'm at 60%. And I would guess everyone around you was like, that's kind of cool that he was willing to say that.
It was hard. It was hard.
Well, can I also
now that it was a good thing for you?
It's what I need.
Yeah.
Good, bad. I mean, I don't know. Good. What came of it? You respect me more. So that's a good thing. Being able to be vulnerable, humility. We all need to be humble in our lives. So is it good? We'll see what happens with that. But for me, it was like, I need to just be honest to the people that love me. And, Jay responded to it. You responded to it. For myself, I needed it. So thank you. I mean, that's all I have to do is just say thank you and just be so humble. And I love it so much.
I'm so glad. It's so cool to see people try and step out of that comfort zone and see the reward for it, and to say, okay, that was hard, but there was a reward for it.
Yeah, it was interesting. Jay's humor, that you're getting to see. You're getting to know all, and we haven't had that like in-room energy yet, because probably, truth be told, the first time that all three of it, we're going to be shy.
Oh,
well, I will be. I don't know if Jay, will you just walk up to the doctor and give her the bird? Will you go, oh?
I'll do it right
now. No. I only do that. I'm only funny when it's funny.
That's right. And we're being honest and transparent. And I hope this relates to other folks that are watching this, because I sniff out BS. I really do with people. And Brian sent us a very intimate, I'm not going to get into the details of the note, but it was a capsulation of what his week was leading up to sending us an email talking about, here's what the week was for me. Here's where I'm at right now. And it meant the world to me, because being able to express yourself in a way to, Brian, take it from there, would you?
Well, I'll say this, and I have a question behind it for the doctor, because it's interesting, this conversation of, I think it's very important to be vulnerable with our friends. I think it's important to let our friends know how we feel. And sometimes there becomes an awkward space with friends. Mm-hmm. And even with those of you who aren't friends.
Business, too.
There's always, And if you don't address that awkward space, I feel personally.
Me too.
Like that, and then you let space sit in between and you give that all, because what you've given is all the bad and all the crap space instead of all the good stuff space. And this is just me, but where I go with this, and the question for the doctor behind this is how do you, because, I'll tell you, I did not recognize when Greg and I or Jay and I were having interactions and I was being a really shitty person, I did not recognize that in myself. I recognized it the quickest was when I went home and I started being that way to the woman that I love. And then all of a sudden it was a slap in my face of, whoa, what are you bringing, Brian? Because it doesn't matter that this person forgot this one little stupid thing tonight. You just went to a really dark place with that person over something that was nothing. And it took me that moment and we've talked a little bit about good job. The people closest to you get the brunt of it all.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, I'm no different. If Nick's listening, I think he's in the other room. I think he's built to his thing. I have a temper, and I'll own it. I am a passionate human, and when I'm in a good headspace, I'm passionately happy, and I can draw energy. And when I'm in a shitty mood, we're not on the radio anymore. Now I can say shit.
Doctor, you good? You can do shit away right now.
Oh crap! But I can be really, passionately pissy too.
Aggressive maybe.
Yeah. And I think, Brian, to your point, I think it's important for people to know what are their symptoms of stress injury and know that ahead of time and put it out to people. If you see it, these are ways you can bring it to my attention where I will hopefully hear you and hear the love behind it the best. Sometimes we tell people, hey, you seem stressed. And what is normally our response to that, right? We don't take it well when people point out that we're stressed. We take that as a personal attack. So people have to have a conversation ahead of time. This is how you could say it. I will accept it if you say it in this way. And then you got to stand behind that and say, okay, they brought it up in the way that I asked them to. They're doing it out of love. But that requires, practice, and that requires ahead of time conversations.
What's wrong with being vulnerable though? Because as I'm actively trying to be more vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting thing. But one of the things that it's indelible now, Doctor. I mean,
forever?
Me and you, indelible. Here it is. This is what you said. It was like, you may have a negative thing to say, but if you have something negative to say, you better balance that with something positive to say. Right away, good and bad. Because if you go down that road of negativity all the time, that's all you have.
Yep.
You are a one-dimensional person, so you are obligated to say, this is negative. How do I have something positive?
Yeah, that's so important. And I think people forget that, is they can get so lost in that negative headspace, especially when they're stressed, especially when there's a lot going on. And again, you have to heal from stress. And one of the ways to heal is to the positivity. And you guys have done that all night tonight, right? Is all that positive energy and all those good memories. And honestly, I was thinking that as I listened to the show earlier, and I thought every person listening to this show could schedule something like that with their pack of people, with their restaurant. Everyone could have a Zoom call or something and say, we're just going to have a conference call, a powwow where we talk and reminisce about where this restaurant started, all the good memories, where we want it to go in the future. Everyone listening could do that.
The importance of that, the importance of
huge.
I mean, and I want the doctor to actually just talk about the importance of like, where'd you come from? What are the things that led you up to that? And polarizing a moment, because polarizing a moment in time that a lot of people project upon things that haven't even happened yet.
Right.
They don't even exist yet.
Right.
But let's talk about actual history, where we've come from, and polarize things that are tangible.
Yeah, because the future right now feels so scary for people. It feels so uncertain. So go back to what you know. Think about, again, that's the balance. Yes, we can't change that. The future is uncertain. So balance that with the past. and reflect on it and say, these are all the good things. And how do we take that and what do we set our intention for in the future? But just enjoy those memories, show pictures, tell stories. There's so much positivity that comes out of that.
Yeah, the great Jim Morrison. Hate to do a quote, but one of the quotes is, the future's uncertain and the end is always near. And you have to believe that. Treat every day like it's your last day.
Right.
You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but the future's uncertain. The end is always near. We have all of these memories and we love each other as people. And I think that that's important to do, is solidify, like, where did we come from? What are these lessons that we've learned together? And what's the path that we grew together?
Yeah.
Because one day can ruin a lot of people. I mean, think about it. You have, business relationships, you have marital relationships, you have relationships with your family, children, so on and so forth. How do you go forward to say, okay, here's where we are, here's how we're going to move forward with an uncertain future, doctor?
Right. And I would say what people would want is to be able to reflect back. If you really thought it was your last day, what would you do with that time? You'd reflect.
Totally.
You'd think about all the good stuff.
Yeah.
So telling everybody, set that as their intention, add that to their plan for next week, is to spend some time reflecting on those memories, whatever their restaurant is, whatever their group is, where they can do that and just enjoy those moments.
I love this idea, Doctor. I think so many restaurateurs should be doing this right now because, I mean, I think it's one of the things that we've seen at the Modern Eater over this time. People need to connect to something right now. People are feeling, in my opinion, lost right now because they don't, you have
future's uncertain.
Well, but you have habits. And so think about if your habit every day was to go into your restaurant and all those things that you do when you show up at the restaurant, just every day. You were like, I mean, listen, I'm a machine in that way myself at work or whether it's at home. I have the same routines every day.
Well, that's because you're 150 years old, and we need to put our keys at the front door because we know our keys belong at the front. And we everything.
Well, but so much. I mean, but like Chef Travis, who's in with us tonight.
What do you do with that, doctor? Yeah. Truly, what do you do with you? You're so pattern oriented. You feel and now you are just throwing a curveball to where it's like, be ready for the unexpected. I think food service and first responders are probably better than most people. You're not an accountant to where you know what you're doing. But how do you do that to where your day's so regimented? Now it's not. How do you just roll with the punches?
But I think people are forgetting, even in the restaurant industry, they are able to roll with the punches and they have to maintain that mental flexibility. If a restaurant comes in and is unloading their produce for the day and something that they ordered isn't there. Ooh, that looks good, by the way. If it's not there, do they stomp their foot and say, that's not fair, we can't open for tonight, this thing isn't there? No, they mentally flex and they say, all right, well, I guess we're going with something else. We're going to have a different vegetable on the menu. And they just roll with it.
Is that easier to do in your business life than your personal life? Because I'd have to.
It shouldn't be. It's because you've had to practice it so many times in your business life. So now it's just a question of take that and notice it as a skill and practice it in your personal life and practice mental flexibility.
Brian, you've had disruption in your business life lately.
Oh, hell yes. Well, but it was just interesting because what she was just saying, because, when I was younger, I did work as a server and bartender and bar back and all that jazz. And so it was just really interesting because I think about this and the resilience of how you are in that industry, right? Someone comes and pisses all over your Wheaties all night long. Yeah. But you cannot bring that to everyone else because the biggest thing that's going to determine your income that night is your attitude. And so think about all those people in that restaurant industry who always, every night of the week, are able to bounce back. The chef that's in the kitchen that someone sends something back and swears that it's wrong.
Right.
And how many times it's
too much salt, but your taste is different.
Yeah, being in the food business, every asshole has to share their opinion in this food beverage business.
And everyone has one. Yeah.
And everybody has one.
And you have to be flexible to survive.
Yes. Yeah, I was just going to say that because it's interesting listening to what you were just saying because I'm like, holy shit, that's a restaurateurs, that's a server.
You like the free format, don't you?
Oh, well, sweetheart, I got a mouth on me.
He's a different guy tonight.
Hey, you guys, keep in
It's
mind
so
that we're on.
cool. This is the first time seeing this, Brian. I really like this, Brian.
Keep in mind that we're on other people's Facebook pages too.
Which is so,
oh yes, okay, thank you.
And which is so interesting to see with Jay, because have you ever seen in Jay We Trust Denver?
Oh.
Oh my God. Get onto that Instagram.
There's years worth of counseling that you open the door to.
Boy, Jay, I love to see that. And Jay, how about the doctor with you, Jay? What have you learned?
Not much. You know,
I was just going to say that. I knew it was going to be like absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't say absolutely
Not
nothing.
much.
It's I've learned that she
Cheers.
reaffirms that I'm self-aware of my issues. I'm just, making a conscious effort not to fix them, I guess.
You are?
Well, I mean,
conscious effort not to fix them.
I mean, yes and no, right? To where it's like, I know I'm not sleeping well. I've tried a few things. They haven't worked. So I just stop. You stop trying. I mean, I could try exercise, but let's be honest, that's not going to happen.
How's the water going?
I'm drinking more water.
Caffeine?
Caffeine, I'm drinking 10 times the amount of caffeine that I ever
That
have.
you should, yeah.
And that is something that, I mean, I periodically give it up. That's one of the
I
drugs
love
that
seeing the
that
doctor
I can't get.
smile like
I
that.
can't
Saturday night here with us. I mean, you've got
It's
a million.
the best.
It's not. It's
I
just
have me
not.
quarantined forever, so I can reserve every Friday, Saturday night.
Well, what's life after court? We're not going to spend this kind of quality time together, are we? Doctor?
Bad, honestly. That's going to be a loss.
So that's a no. We're not going to spend. That's just a no. But what about Monday through Friday? Have you been enjoying it?
Ooh, enjoying it would be pushing it.
Really?
Accomplish. Oh, with you guys? I've been enjoying this. I thought you meant in my entire existence. I've been
with us.
incredibly busy. With you
We
guys,
don't care about anything.
blah, blah, blah.
Besides, yeah.
With you guys, yes.
Good.
And I actually would very much enjoy. I really look forward to the day that I can come down to the kitchen and see you guys in your natural habitat.
It's going to happen.
It's totally going to happen.
You know it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
And you'll get to know everybody's personality.
Yeah.
I'll give you a terrible one, doctor.
What do you
Whenever I think about
San
a
Pasquale?
psychiatrist, I think about eating. Have you ever seen the old Chevy Chase commercial where he's eating Doritos in the room and everything else around him means nothing?
I will have to look for that.
That's how I think a psychiatrist it views you. When, you're going into their office, you're like, "Oh, let me tell you this story," and they're eating Doritos.
Yeah, like I totally know. Honestly, I probably have had moments where I wanted to do that. I can't lie.
Have you learned anything from us? Just say no.
I don't know that I would say I've learned it, but you guys have brought out that fun, lighthearted side of me. And I think without having this daily dose of that, I would be getting way too focused on work and getting things done. And so I love this. It's been good for me.
Doctor, I'm going to say you have learned something from us. And I'll tell you what, toughness.
Yeah.
We're tough. We're
Grit.
tough as hell. You've seen us here every single day, whether we want to be or not, right?
And that's the thing. People would learn from that is even when you're at 60%, you still put on an amazing show.
How about you? Did you learn I need to be tough? I don't want to show up today, but look, these guys are going to show up.
Absolutely. You got to. Yeah. I told you guys that a week or so ago that I was crying and had a bad day and you still got to show up.
What? So we call you Dr. Baby Yoda, right?
Yep.
How about us? Do you have a nickname for us? Do you and Nick joke and say, anything about us,
No,
Nothing?
we were laughing about you on your balcony. We look forward to your Howl Fest. I don't think we have nicknames for you guys yet. We'll have to come up with nicknames.
Okay, you describe it. For folks that don't know, what happens on the balcony?
Well, every night at around this time, I guess we should end the show with howling because you're missing your.
That's right.
You are missing your nightly howl.
Yeah.
You have been allowing the world to join you on your balcony to howl at the moon.
Yes, ma'am.
Responders and all the people taking care of us. And one particular evening this past week, you had a lovely lady putting on a bit of an extra show.
Yeah, the accoutrement.
Yes.
Just a side show.
Did she have anything on?
Yeah, she had a little chiffon.
Little,
Is that a word, chiffon?
I don't know if there was anything on under that, but
No.
that added a nice little extra entertainment for the evening.
Absolutely. I have hollered over there, or did I just leave them alone? I should have said, hey, they knew people were watching, right?
Or howl in that direction, yes.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Doctor, we'll see you Monday, right? Sunday, what do you guys have planned? Are you going to go on a drive?
Tonight? Is tonight Sunday? What is today? I don't even know. Today's Saturday.
Saturday.
No, we have a big report we have to get in. I'm going to be boring tomorrow. We got to work all day tomorrow, and then maybe a drive in the evening.
That'd be cool. Today's March 42nd.
Woohoo!
And April 11th, for those that know. Tomorrow's Easter, Doctor.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
Are you dyeing eggs? Can I tell you a little story from my family?
Yeah.
My mother, I'm blessed to have a beautiful mother who lives in the house that I grew up in. She's probably healthier than I am. She's the love of my life, and I think the world of her. She's supported me through thick and thin and my endeavors with the Modern Eater, and just been there for me. She's been self-quarantined for probably 4 weeks now, and she's got a support network that's amazing. And my mom is something that I can't wait till you meet her, because you will fall in love with her.
Cool.
I think that the people around us, we need to recognize at all times.
Definitely.
We really do.
Very important.
I love see, that's just the coolest energy that you put out there. I feel the love. I love that.
Thank you. We'll see you Monday.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, Dr. Baby Jay, what do you got?
We'll see you Monday, Doc. Thank you for everything.
He's like, I need to go home at this point in time.
Yes, go Doc. Get ready for the Easter Bunny.
Yeah. Oh, the story I was going to tell you, because I had a stroke. I forgot. So my mom would have cartons of eggs, and the kids, me and my sister Cassandra, we would dye the eggs, and my mom would hide them. Yeah. So, she'd have a couple of, what Chardonnays, right, Jay? She'd have a couple of Chardonnays on the night before Easter and hide the eggs. Well, there was one year that she had no idea where she hid stuff. But you knew you had 2 cartons of eggs, right? You find and you put the eggs back in there. So the kids are having an Easter egg hunt. Well, there was a couple of them we couldn't find. So months later, start sniffing around the house like, oh man, hey, did you pass gas over there? And I mean, what does this mean? So she hid a couple eggs behind the refrigerator that we found because of the sniff test, and she had no idea where she put the eggs.
Awesome.
And that's the life of a single mother right there.
That's so cool.
That's love Easter. That. I hope she's watching.
She's your bestie. My mom is my bestie too, so I totally get it.
She's my rock.
That's awesome.
On a lighter note, stories like that make me only use plastic eggs.
Really?
With plastic eggs with money or candy inside the eggs. Yeah, I mean, we do a few of those, but it's always, and especially when you live up in the mountains. Oh, because you've got critters and all kinds of stuff that can smell those eggs just as well.
Dang it! I wanted to play us out with some music to dance. It's not set up.
Oh, we'll have to howl instead.
Oh, can you do it? Let's do it for the first responders. All right, everybody, do it.
Ready?
Love it. I love it. Thank you. Actually, first responders, thank you. Thank you, Chef Travis Smith. I can't wait till you get to we'll have dinner over at Bistro Colorado. That'll be fantastic.
His food, you guys, I can't tell you. Tonight he cooked up some Rome sausages and Rome sausages and meatballs.
Yes, sir.
They were awesome, but so was the polenta that he put underneath there for me. And oh my gosh, it's just awesome. It was just awesome.
Yeah.
There'll be some pictures up.
Say hi to Nick for us. Just to tell y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. Little Rich Schneider for joining us. Zach Johnston, the Spice Guy, Brian Freeman, Jay Parker, Chef Travis Smith, for Dr. Baby Yoda. Thank you so much. There she is, Dr. Sara Metz. We'll see you on Monday. The Modern Eater Show continues.